My boyfriend's mother kept making inappropriate comments and I've had enough.
Were they funny comments, though?
I, 27 female, have been with my boyfriend, 26 male, for 2 years. Our families are very close. Both of our moms get along and pretty much became best friends once we started dating. I adore his mom, 50 female, too. We've had a genuine friendship since her son and I got together. By the way, this comes from Odd Throwaway Post, and if you can submit your own stories on the r/OKStorytime subreddit. By the way, I'm Angie.
And I'm Keon.
So, OP says, let me start by saying my boyfriend and his mom are pretty close and they have a great relationship. But since we started dating, she seems to be jealous of our relationship and she seemed to start copying me. My boyfriend bought me a beanie from our favorite local company and suddenly she needed the same beanie. We went bikini shopping and she bought the exact same bikini that I decided to buy. That's weird.
That's weird.
My boyfriend bought me a camping ice chest, so she went out and bought the same exact one for herself. So now she's looking to buy the exact same car as me that I bought for myself 6 months ago. And for reference, I bought a 4x4 off-roading SUV with full towing capabilities because I go camping and ride dirt bikes quite a bit. She does not do any of that, nor have a single use for any type of 4x4 car. Aside from the copying, she makes very weird, inappropriate jokes. I said I wanted breakfast, and she responds, "Don't you get enough sausage for my son?" What?
Hey, yo.
Whoa.
Hey, yo. Wow.
Oh my god. That is so crazy. I say I'm tired, and she says, maybe don't stay up so late having spicy sleep. She has literally said that.
She's just a cool mom, I guess.
She's just a cool mom. You're just keeping her young. One time I made a comment about my boyfriend having big hands and she said, you know what that means, right? Mama didn't raise no shrimpies.
Hey,
what
yo!
is going
on?
What is happening?
What is this reverse Oedipus complex? There's got to be another term for it, but what is going on?
Dude. So she does say this stuff in front of my boyfriend, her son, and he'll snap and tell her that she's being weird, but she only ever laughs it off. She just doesn't take it seriously. I want the entire future with my boyfriend. Kids, house, land, all of it. So cutting her off or giving my boyfriend that ultimatum doesn't seem feasible. So is this an overreaction? Do I just let the weirdness fizzle out and ignore it in the meantime? And there is an edit. But what do we think before we get into that?
Heck no. You got to put a stop to this. If you are uncomfortable, if you are like, there are people out there who are like, okay, I'm comfortable with that. Whatever your comfortability is,
sure.
Cool. If you're cool with it, great. But if you are uncomfortable, OP, you got to draw a line before she crosses it. Right. She's already crossing it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
She's already crossing it.
I mean, like, some parents, are very spicy sleep positive and very open about that stuff, and that's great. But this is just not the way to do it.
If her son is uncomfortable, your boyfriend, you are uncomfortable, you got to stop it before she gets to a more extreme scenario that you do not want, where she's like walking around the house.
Right.
I don't want to get
walking.
I don't want to get that mind. I don't want to get that mind.
I don't want to imagine,
but these comments need to stop.
They absolutely do.
You are not overreacting.
Right. But we do have an edit, so crap hit the fan. She absolutely lost it when my boyfriend sat down to have a conversation with her.
Oh.
But in the end, we did cut ties. Whoa! I made a full post explaining how that bad crap crazy woman reacted. Thank you for all the responses and advice. While it wasn't what I ever wanted to hear, I apparently needed to, and so did my boyfriend. Oh my god, that's crazy, because we're gonna get it. We are
we have to.
a fifth of the way through
this story. We have to get the crazy because we already got the crazy. I want the crazier.
I'm so excited.
Me too. We
have some comments. Commenter number 1 says, as the mother of a son in his 20s, she's unhinged and deeply inappropriate. He's likely been dealing with this enmeshment his whole life and is aware that it's weird. I'd talk to him honestly and in a non-judgmental way about your concerns and see what his thoughts are. Commenter number 2 says, this is emotional genetic copy pasting. Oh my gosh. She sees her son as a placeholder for a partner, and now that he has a partner, she sees you as competition for his affection. This behavior will only escalate with every further step that you take in your relationship. Getting married, she will wear white. Having a baby, she will insert herself as the mother of your child. You need to talk to your boyfriend about this and ask him to set boundaries. She needs therapy. And yeah, honestly, we have read a lot of stories about things like those. So I could definitely see that happening.
The mama's boy, the Oedipus complex. I mean, thankfully, your boyfriend knows when to put a stop to it.
Right. Right. Commenter number 3 says, not overreacting. Hopefully he's receptive to your concerns and supports setting down some real boundaries. Would be ashamed to go no contact, but I've read similar stories on here before, and that's unfortunately how it ended. Granted, those were in context of married couples, so the stakes were higher. You have the opportunity to break things off without going through divorce if it came to that. And yeah, just gotta talk to him. See if he'll step up to mom, and then go from there. I wonder if she has always acted like this with his girlfriends, or maybe it has ramped up if you're his first committed relationship that scares her. Either way, totally gross behavior. Commenter number 5 says, as a male in his mid-20s, this is weird as heck. I'd be uncomfortable too. And you're not overreacting. At first, I'm like, oh, maybe she's just trying to relate to you by buying the same things. That part seemed innocent enough, but yeah, the rest is weird as heck. Also, Bronco or Forerunner, lol. OP says, thank you. It's reassuring hearing the POV from someone that's the same age. My boyfriend didn't know how to process any of it apparently, and this didn't feel like the type of thing that I could open up to anyone in my real life about. And I got a Forerunner, which has become a big part of my personality, lol. But there is an update, and I'm really hoping this is going to be the fight.
We're probably going to get, because it was an edit, so we probably get the argument
right,
or the controversial,
yeah,
talk.
The reaction.
Oh yeah,
so excited.
I was gonna say my sister and my mom are really close. And like, I'm like, yeah, cool. But there's a line to be drawn for every, person.
Right. I feel like in like period films, I feel like I've noticed things where like they're talking about the wedding night or something like that, and the mom is always like, oh yeah, like that's kind of fun, and it's like that's the most you get about it. But like they relate in that kind of way.
Yeah, but I feel like have your fun, or like, oh, you crazy kids, like use protection.
Yeah, exactly. But I feel like that's a lot more normal when like it's like a mother and daughter talking.
Yeah,
about
exactly.
like, you know what I mean? Like obviously there's still boundaries there,
or,
but
like,
if it's a mother and then maybe a soon-to-be daughter-in-law talking about her son, it's just a different level.
There's like a fine line of like, okay, and then especially when you express you're uncomfortable, she'd be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I crossed the line.
Like, you're right.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to stop doing that. But the fact that she keeps doubling down and says even more whack crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, we have an update.
Yep.
Okay. This is 1 month later. Hi, I was overwhelmed by the amount of responses I got on my previous post, linked above, and horrified that my fears were put into words that outsiders were able to very clearly see. I'm not gonna lie, it made me nauseous reading some of the comments and realizing it was a form of emotional genetic copy pasting, which I had to research, by the way. Hated every second of it. Anyways, here's an update from the drama that went down last month. I sat down with my boyfriend, had a really uncomfortable talk about all of it, and he was equally horrified. I don't think it ever really hit him how completely bananas and sick the behavior was until everything was laid out on the table back to back. He assured me that he hasn't dealt with any deeper from his past, and this seems to be a more recent behavior. I'm his most serious relationship, so we're assuming it was some sort of weird, sick jealousy like many of you said. The real drama, he sat down with his mom, without me, and told her how he felt, that it was inappropriate and that it needed to stop. Well, crap hit the fan after that. That woman completely snapped. She blew up my phone with messages about how I will never compete with her. What?
Oh, whoa.
And that I shouldn't have felt so insecure, especially since we're considered each other's friends. She is not the one that was competing with you, dude. You are clearly the one.
This has to be some form of midlife crisis thing, and like, if there's no father in the picture, which we don't know,
we have no idea.
If there's no father in the picture and this was like her only support, like family support, was her son, this makes a lot of sense that she's very territorial, and like maybe she was trying to say those comments to ward you off, to ick you off, to like get you off, like, oh, I'm the mom, you know what, you can't have this. So
maybe. Ugh. She also said there was nothing weird or spicy related about the comments that she's made, and that we're all sensitive snowflakes. Eventually, they got into a screaming match. He told her we'd cut ties if she continued acting like this. Both his siblings have cut ties with her for years now. That's a big
piece of information.
Yeah, that really is. She pretty much said, I dare you. You'll deal with the consequences. So ties were cut, but we have learned that she's been twisting the story quite a bit to her friends and family, and they apparently blame me, saying that I poisoned her in my boyfriend's mind. I personally have no guilt for the situation. I think cutting ties was the best outcome, but I do worry about my boyfriend. His dad is still very much in his life, but I worry about him not having his mom, even though she was toxic. And I worry about you not having having us in your everyday life. Just go to iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcast, or whatever your favorite podcast app is, and search OK Storytime. You can listen to full episodes with more stories just like this one.
Maybe not as insane as this one.
Well, yeah.
Maybe more insane as this one.
Some
Who
less,
knows?
some more. But there is a little bit more to the story, but oh my gosh.
That one piece of information of like, oh, his siblings all cut her off.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, you wonder why.
Right. I need to hear those stories now.
That was very pertinent information that we should have gotten, I don't know, in the beginning.
Right.
Before we like, oh, she might be okay.
Right. I know, it's so funny because I feel like I forget that like these Redditors, they're just talking about one problem. That's what they're there for.
It's always one, like not necessarily one side of the story, but it is one side of the narrative. And yeah, you know,
and
it's
just that focus.
Exactly.
Right.
So,
but then we're here and I'm like, no, we need like the entire life story. Like we need all of it.
I wish we can get why the other siblings cut her off.
I would love to know.
I mean, there's obviously a reason, and we can see that she's crazy. Mm-hmm. I think this is the right thing to do, especially since he tried to have a civil conversation with his mom and she just blew it up. There's no point in dealing with it.
So there's a little bit more. For the ones who have cut ties with family members in the past because of a spouse, what kind of advice can you give for a smoother transition to essentially losing a parent? Is there anything that will make it easier on him or both of us? We want to start planning family soon too, but how am I supposed to ever explain to our child what happened to their grandma? I'm truly scared my boyfriend might hold resentment towards me one day for bringing light to how toxic his mom was. But that is the end of that story.
My girlfriend's D&D roleplay with another guy continued outside of the game.
Ooh, they got a little bit into their characters.
And a little bit into each other.
Bit of context. My female 23 girlfriend, female 21 of 8 years, has been with her D&D group for, let's say, 2 years or so. In every campaign they had, she's never established a romantic relationship with any of the other players' characters. Neither does the DM, giving her roots to have any romantic relationships. Strictly platonic. This new campaign, however, I found out that one of the new players that will hide with the name Josh, male 21, have pitched an idea of his character and my girlfriend's character falling in a loving relationship.
He pitched it?
Yeah. Is that okay?
Personally, if he's pitching it as them falling in love, that is a little weird to me because you don't usually plan that.
Especially a brand new character, or it seems like a new...
Normally what I would, let's say I were pitching this, it would be like, we have a relationship, or we had a relationship, and that is our character background. Like, we're divorced or whatever. It wouldn't be like, I want to fall in love, because that's not improv.
Real quick. My archer character, human archer, needs a key, and you're a queen, and I pitched the idea that I have to sleep with the queen in order to do that.
You would
Is that weird?
If it were in game.
Now, real quick, what if my archer character needs to sleep with the little gremlin guy, and it's Keon's character, and I pitched that I have to sleep with
But that would be in game. You would be saying, like, during the game, you'd be like, I want to roll to do this, or like, oh, this is my plan. You wouldn't do that when you were creating characters.
So even if your character's the queen and his is the gremlin, if it's in game, it doesn't matter. But if I'm like, mine should hook up with your character, that's weird.
Yeah,
but what if say mine should hook up with Keon's character? Is that weird?
But
no, I'm just saying.
Ultimately,
I'm just seeing if it's like male to male, if that's weird, if it's male to female outside of the game, is it still weird both ways?
I'm not even seeing it as like, oh, it's a weird thing, male or female. I'm just saying it doesn't make sense game mechanic to pre-plan relationship because it's not improv.
Can we get a poll real quick?
So I think that is weird for him to say.
Yeah, cheating or nah? Real quick, I need a
I feel like
poll.
He wants to cheat.
At first, I was confused, but then went with it considering as an RPG and doesn't really translate into real life. My girlfriend is also an artist, so she creates artworks for other players, which I find absolutely great for her since she gets to exercise her skills and such. So naturally, in her instinct, she will draw her character and Josh's character in romantic comments that illustrates as to what is happening to the campaign and to show me, hey, look, it's my and Josh's character, and would explain that this was what was currently happening in the campaign. As usual, I find her works awesome and I get interested with the story, so I tell her to keep me updated. Every now and then, she keeps giving me updates about the romantic progression of her and Josh's character, and there were times where I felt awkward about it, but I didn't press her for it. She showed me a conversation of her and Josh from her phone that was talking about the campaign and their characters' love for one another and all that. That it came to the point of me feeling weird about it. This is also whenever coworkers have a, this is my work wife, that kind of vibe.
It is a little bit different, but again, because it was premeditated, I think it is a little weird.
Like, I imagine he's like, I can't wait to go see my girlfriend today at D&D.
Yeah. Like, I think if they were coming, they were like, oh my God. And like this character, we had like my character, like we realized this whole thing and it was coming from purely a storytelling thing. But again, I think because he was like, I want my character to be in love with your character.
And that's the only story.
Yeah,
that's
the only story.
Plot.
It's like, what?
That's my character's background is my character falls in love with your character.
That doesn't
that's
even make sense to plan that.
I know this might be a bad move that I made, but I had a hunch that something else was going on since all she could talk about was her and Josh and their characters. I took a peek at their conversation from her phone. I know, privacy and all, but we both don't necessarily mind if we look into each other's phones as we do it all the time when awake. And I just got weirded out even more. I saw chats and texts of them both with romantic undertones and even spicy related ones as if they were both role-playing as if they're characters even outside of the game.
Weird. Why are you role-playing as your characters outside of the game in a romantic context? That's weird.
Sophia, how else am I supposed to get better at improv?
Improv class.
Yeah, get class.
Or in D&D.
During D&D.
Well, one, that takes time and money. Why can't I just text the person I'm already role-playing with?
And just role-play with them. I think it's totally fine to have people have role-playing groups all the time. I think to have a one-on-one role-playing group where you're having a romantic relationship with someone is weird.
For example, Josh referring to my partner as her partner's name and vice versa, and my blood instantly boiled in my disbelief. When she woke up, I immediately confronted her about it, and she was just like, it's D&D. We role play.
That's such a cop-out. No. And you guys know me. Like, I am we read other stories where I've been like, no, this is just D&D. That's role-playing. They're improvising. This is not that. There's a huge difference.
If I was weird, I wouldn't have done what OP was doing.
Yeah, I wouldn't search the phone. I don't support that.
I would have gone to, like, could I see a session? Or could I join in a session as, like, a one-off character? Or just, like, a NPC?
And, like, I get that. But it's necessary for them to do all that even outside of the campaign?
No.
Maybe I'm just overthinking it. What do you guys think? We have some comments.
You know what is normal outside of campaign? Oh my God, like that was a really cool thing that your character did. That's crazy. Like, that was really interesting storyline.
Oh, it'd be interesting if you had this potion. Have you ever thought of this potion where this could do this?
Wait, okay, I know we have a battle coming up. Do you think that if we like strategize, like,
what's our tactics here? Yeah,
that's normal.
Not. Oh, it'd be crazy if like the next time our people have
we
sleep,
like made out.
She does her weird thing with her thing, and then her crazy ponytail does this with my butt, and then da.
Yeah, I really wish you were on my D&D session because it sounded exactly like that. You think I'm kidding?
This makes me think, does she not feel threatened by Josh at first because she's like, oh, my partner is lesbian?
Well, we don't know. She could be bi.
But like, she's attracted to me. I'm not threatened by Josh because I know she's attracted to me.
Unless she's bi.
But what I'm trying to say is she's in a relationship with OP. She's like, oh, I'm not threatened. It's just Josh. Whatever.
Yeah.
That's probably another thing happening here.
Potentially.
So, comment number 1. It's weird that the DM would even allow this. This is a really common problem with an easy rule workaround. No relationships between PC characters. Simple enough. But yeah, it's super weird, and I would be sketched out too. Especially because they are talking it OOG, which
taking
means
it out of game.
Out of game. I considered this emotional cheating, in my opinion. Not really one for ultimatums, but I'd pretty much let my significant other know it's me or them. Continue your fantasy roleplay relationship, or have a real one with me, your choice. OP says the DM actually told them basically, hey, this is a new route for us to try and drama for the entire team and the storyline, so let's try it out. Ply says, oh, so the DM is enabling it. Gotcha. Why does this feel premeditated?
Because it was premeditated. He asked to have this relationship before the campaign started.
Does this new guy like your girlfriend and got the DM to play along with them so he can reenact his fantasy with her under the guise of roleplay? Super creepy. He says, honestly, I have no idea if he does or not. Plus, even if we ask him about it, he'll just downright deny it. I find it also weird that my girlfriend has established that she's a sapphic and hates anything that has to do romantically with men, but role plays different. I guess you can say, but her character might be straight, but it feels off for me.
No, okay. Well, that goes to your point of the girlfriend being like, oh, it's not a problem because I'm not interested in men. Again, I do believe there's something fishy going on here, but in the sense of like D&D, I think it's pretty common for people to play very different characters to themselves because, again, it is a character. Like, I've played characters that are men in D&D, which is just like totally different from, like, obviously me. I think the issue here is that they're taking this outside of game and premeditating it, and I think that's strange.
Comment 2. Your reaction is valid. As with anything that comes to fantasy, the problem lies when it started to affect real life.
Agreed.
The same happens more often than not when work, school, church, or whatever friends start doing this outside of the place of meeting and without their partner or significant other. It doesn't always start intentionally, and it is very easy to view it as just friends when on the inside, so they can't see when boundaries are being crossed and emotional cheating is started. If you two have a solid relationship, then definitely have a talk with her about these things and that whole campaigning. You are totally cool with it since it's in the game. Others are participating, and so on. It's the taking it to the real world that has you concerned because it is very easy to step into problem territory without realizing it. It is very possible that her game mate could have a thing for her, so whether intentional or not, it's encouraging and inappropriate via the game. Without knowing if she's super naive and not picking up on it, or if she's just openly enjoying the flattery, or even if she is interested in him as well and utilizing this in a way to see what happens. Nobody but her and you can say. Talk to her and discuss what's happening and how it is causing you hurt and concern. Hopefully she will understand and cut the communication to just game night, or at least cut the role-playing communication to that. If she doesn't, then the next discussion would have to be about the relationship between you both and whether or not she wants to continue it.
I think that's a great point. I think another way to look at it is like when I'm doing a play that has like intimacy choreography in it. Like usually if you're doing like a play that has good safety measures around it and stuff, you wouldn't go tell your actors to go practice the kiss at home. You would do that with a choreographer and with the director there and be like, okay, these are the beats. Okay, now this is the part where we kiss. And a lot of times you don't even do that kiss until much later. And so in this sense, you wouldn't be role playing at home together alone and not in the actual campaign. Yeah, I think this is weird. Whether or not she's into him, he's definitely into her.
Oh, absolutely.
So
if I'm at game night and I'm entertaining this kind of conversation outside of game night, I'm definitely into this person.
Yeah.
Come on. So, update. I've opened this up to my girlfriend once more after taking a few hours to cool off and think what my next actions are. Her reasoning was basically, it's only role-playing for me since that's what we players do. And we role-play in general. And my reply to that was, I know it's role-playing, and I know that's what you do with D&D, but what you and Josh are doing is taking it to another level by being private and even talking in a spicy related manner. I've told her what she did started to hurt me in an emotional way, and I somewhat felt betrayed that she would even have the thought of doing it. It came to the point where tears were being brought out because I couldn't control my emotions and frustrations anymore. She gave me a hug and apologized for her actions and told me I didn't know that this was going to affect you this much. It really was just a game for me. I enjoyed it too much that I started neglecting what you're feeling. And honestly, at that point, all I could do was cry. She then sat me up next to her laptop station and pulled up the conversation with her DM and told him to erase every part of the story that had anything to do with the love story between her character and Josh's. The DM's confusion, he said, but I already finished the story for the campaign, so now I'll have to redo it again. After that, she told me she was going to chat with Josh. So,
I don't understand why the player-character relationship has so much to do with the story of the campaign.
weak campaign because a lot of movies and stuff usually rely on a relationship, and maybe the campaign's weak.
So in other campaigns, I'm like basing this off of a lot of like the D20 campaigns I've seen. There's a lot of romantic relationships in those stories.
And tell them about the situation and that it was already too much. I was watching by her side as she did it, telling Josh that it was wrong and she saw the wrong in it now, and that she was going to walk away from this roleplay romance. After a few minutes later, Josh replied and basically said, okay, can I keep all the art though? By the way, you can listen to more stories just like this on your favorite podcast platform. Just search up OK Storytime on iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Apple. We have a little bit more. What do you think the art is?
Now I'm like, what? I didn't want that art. You just want it because it's cool art and it's good? Or for other reasons? Suspicious.
After that, she decided to take a break from interacting with her D&D friends and decided to hang out with me the rest of the day. Though, after the hangout, me resting on her arm while watching TV, she decided to check her phone for updates in their group chat and showed me the conversation of Josh and the others still going at the topic of his character and her character being together and all the art and whatnot, as if he's very still into it. She asked me if she should intervene with her friends, and I just gave her a look. She nodded and texted them to stop with the issue. I don't know if this was the right move for me to make, since people in the comments told me it's basically cheating, but for now, I'm relieved it ended.
Yeah, I guess my like final comments on this is going back to the confusion about this DM setup, because when you have two non-player characters, the DM has almost complete control over their relationship. Let's say they're in a romantic relationship. If you have a non-player character and a PC player character who are in a relationship, the DM has control over what that NPC does, but not over what the player does.
Okay.
And when you have two player characters in a romantic relationship, the DM has no control. I don't understand why he was like, well, I have to change my entire storyline. You can't plan anything that your players do. I feel like the DM was in on it.
Bro, I'm kind of into this chick.
Yeah, it's like when the teacher puts two kids who have a crush on each other together.
I feel like the DM was enabling it, but the DM was like, okay, guys, let's do something different. They're like, why don't we just base this off like just a romantic relationship? And you're like,
that doesn't make sense.
Why?
But that's the end of that story. Well, we got another story, folks.
My boyfriend ignores me if I don't wear the clothes he wants.
What? Let her wear her own clothes.
That's ridiculous. I'd be like, we're done. So I've been dating my boyfriend, who I'll call Troy, for close to a year now, and for the most part, things have been great. My friends love him, my parents love him, even my aunts and uncles, who he's never met, love him because of what my parents say about him. But lately, I've been feeling insecure about our relationship because of something that's been going on since we got together. By the way, this comes from Well-Dressed GF, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to OK Storytime subreddit. So some backstory. Troy and I started off as friends, and then we moved in together. What we did most with our free time was clothes shopping. Troy is very stylish, and he always gets showered in compliments whenever we go out, and people always ask him where he gets his clothes. I loved shopping with Troy because he always picked out great outfits for me to wear, because guess what? He knows women's fashion too. But things were different before we started dating, because I was the one paying for my clothes, and I obviously didn't spend money on things that I didn't feel comfortable wearing, even if he liked them. Fast forward to us dating, and there's barely any clothes in my closet left that I bought or had much say in buying. I get complimented on my clothes often, which I like, but my friends and coworkers just default to saying things like, tell Troy he did a good job. How I dress doesn't define me, but I feel like I've lost part of who I am and a bit of my individuality. I also live in a very hot location, and for some reason, no matter what Troy wears, he never seems to sweat. I, however, sweat like crazy. So sometimes I dress comfortably. When I do, I can tell he's a little embarrassed to be out with me. He hates tank tops on women and never wears sweats in public. And before, I wore those things a lot. He's a really nice guy about it, and he's never asked me to change, but I can tell he's uncomfortable when I dress down. It's a struggle to get him to hold my hand. He spends more time on his phone than usual, and he won't kiss me in public. And on top of that, I don't even have to be dressed in the really bummy clothing for him to act like this either. If we don't match in level of style when we go out, he behaves differently. I'm starting to hate going out of the house with him. I've talked to him about it, and he says he doesn't think it's so bad that he isn't as affectionate in public when I'm not dressed well, because he's very affectionate when we're at home no matter what I wear. So I just want to know if I'm wrong to be insecure. Is this actually an issue, or am I creating an issue in our relationship with my own insecurity? and we have an update. So basically, I feel horrible about myself now because of what happened tonight, and I'm just waiting for all of this to blow over. So I woke up a few hours later after I posted last night, read your responses on my phone. Boyfriend cooked breakfast. We both went off to work just like usual. No biggie. He gets home before me, so when I got back, he was sitting in the living room watching TV, so I sat down next to him and we just watched silently. I didn't say anything for the entire episode of the show because I figured he would have said something first if he wanted to talk. I will say, assuming is never the way to go, because I've been in that situation where I sit down, we're not talking, and I'm like, oh my God, you could say something right now.
Right.
But I'm like, I could say something right now,
right.
too. Yeah.
Right. It's like, maybe he doesn't want to talk, but if you want to talk, then
you should talk.
Yeah.
It seemed like he had something on his mind. So I asked him if something was the matter, and he said no. And then I asked him why he was being so quiet. He then apologized and sort of perked up and asked if I wanted to go out to this bar/restaurant/bookstore place we'd gone to a while ago that we really liked. I said yes. A few hours pass, and he seems a little mopey, but I just let him do his own thing, figuring he'll tell me what's wrong when he's ready. He lets me know he wants to leave soon. So he goes into the room to get dressed, and I join him. Now, I understand I might get some judgment for this based on all the complaints I made in my original post, but I like to ask Troy's opinion on what I should wear sometimes. I'll pull some things out of the closet and ask him what he thinks, and he'll give an honest opinion about it. Anyways, I picked out a shirt and skirt that he bought me and asked him what he thought. And he stopped to think for a bit, walked to the closet, dug all the way in the back, and pulls out some of the clothes I bought for myself a long time ago. He told me he thought I would look really good in the outfit tonight, and he'd like to see me in it since I haven't worn it in a while. So I obliged, put the clothes on, and we were off. It felt really good for him to do that for me. In all fairness, the clothes look really nice, like something he'd usually pick out, but it's been so long since he's recommended I wear my older clothes, and it felt like he was intentionally being nice. Troy continued to act a little different the entire night, and I didn't know why. When he parked, he walked over to the passenger side and opened the door for me. Then he extended his hand to help me out of the car, and he didn't let go of my hand after I was out. Not in a violent way. He was just holding my hand. I love how we need the clarification.
Yeah, thank you. That's exactly what I was thinking.
It was nice, but it wasn't what I was used to. When we got inside, he was pretty quiet, similar to how I said he acted when I didn't wear what he wanted. But every time I acted concerned about his behavior, he would dismiss it and bring up a topic to talk about. The things he brought up to talk about were just random, small, talky type things. Really nothing that could sustain a significant conversation. So the evening was kind of awkward. We left about 2 hours later, and I still didn't know what was going on. We were both silent in the car for a bit, and then he suddenly breaks the silence by saying, I don't want you to think that I'm ashamed of you when you're not all dolled up how I like. My heart sank into my stomach when he said that. I just replied, where did that come from? He said he was just thinking about it. But I knew where, and I was screaming inside my head. I realized I never signed out of this throwaway account on my laptop.
Oh no!
And he must have stumbled upon my post from yesterday.
Oh no!
That's not good. That's not good.
Well,
Maybe it is good though.
I mean,
maybe
we got
it
the
is
message
good.
Across one way
We did. When we got home, I just figured we were past the point of no return. So I pulled up my laptop, found the post, and asked him what he had to say about it. He was shocked at first. And then I realized I knew he knew I knew. I never thought I'd use that phrase in a serious way. He asked how much I agreed with the comments, but I saw what he was getting at, so I told him that I wasn't about to break up with him. And then he told me he needed to clarify something. It was a long explanation, so I'm going to paraphrase. He told me that he knows he acts like a knucklehead sometimes by ignoring me, but that it's not entirely about me not wearing his clothes. Basically, he told me he gets quiet and distant with me about other things too, but he's not trying to manipulate me. He just feels stuck. By stuck, he meant that he, 1, gets upset by something I do, 2, doesn't want to lash out, 3, wants to bring it up to me, 4, realizes that the issue is really small and he's embarrassed to admit it bothers him, so he ends up upset and quiet. Troy is afraid I'll call him sensitive and get annoyed at him for it, which I've never done. He said with the clothes thing, it was never really about the clothes. It was about this thing he says I do. I apparently go out of my way to get his opinion on something for me and then just ignore it and make the choice that I wanted to make in the first place, which bothers him. And that's what I did those handful of times where he ignored me in public. I sort of called BS on that because of the comment he made about thinking it was okay to only forget about how I'm dressed when we're home. And then he told me he just said that because he was annoyed at me and he knew it would bother me. Then he brought up an occasion where I dressed how I wanted to and he didn't treat me differently in public, and how he never packs my bags for me when we leave town. I told him that not communicating with me when he's upset isn't okay and that it hurts me when he ignores me, and he acknowledged that it was wrong. But honestly, at that point, I was feeling like the knucklehead. Here I am showing him a group of people on the internet that pretty much hate him now, based on some misunderstandings, calling him names and telling me to leave him, and my laptop light is just shining on his face the whole time. It got pretty silent and awkward. I was just sitting there staring at him while he stared at the ground. But then he says, "Did you see the guy that called me attracted to the same gender?" And he laughed, so I felt comfortable laughing. We both apologized and hugged for a really long time, and he told me he was going to bed. He usually goes to bed a lot later than he did, but I didn't feel like I should stop him. So I'm currently feeling pretty crappy, but things will probably be okay by tomorrow. And I guess I'm glad he found the post, because we really reached an understanding tonight because of it. I'm just really embarrassed for getting it wrong. It was just that comment he made that one time we were out that made me think all those things and lead me to those conclusions about his opinion of me. I wish he never said that, but I guess that's that.
That's tough. I have very mixed feelings about what's going on here.
Yeah?
Because it seemed like we were making some progress, but then she did remind us, like, oh yeah, there was that one time where he was like, no, I think it's fine to not be affectionate to you when you're not wearing an outfit I want in public.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, okay, wait. So maybe it's not just like the fact that he's offended, you know?
Yeah, it feels like maybe there are some other things going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the biggest takeaway I always feel from these things, and I joke about it, but it's not funny, is like communication is key, and how scared we all are of bringing up how we feel about things.
No, it really is communication, because then I'm like also thinking, you know, it feels like he's so offended by her not validating like his opinions. We just saw her pick out an outfit like, hey, do you think this would look good? And he picked out something completely different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, well, that very well could be happening in the opposite direction, but just like, again, they're not talking about it, or they're not being self-aware or something like that. But
yeah. By the way, you can listen to full episodes with stories like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime. I'm awake again, and based on a lot of similar responses, I suppose I should clarify something. His explanation was really long as to why he does what he does, so I didn't include everything he said. And I guess I left out some really important information. He apologized for how he behaves when he gets quiet sometimes, and he told me how much of an issue it is for him. He says he's lost a friend in the past because of it, because they eventually got fed up with his attitude and spent less and less time with him, and it's something he's really been trying to work on. We both know it's an issue. He knows I don't approve, but I'm trying to get more comfortable telling me when he's upset. Another point I want to make is that I don't feel like he shifted the blame on me for how he acts. I don't feel as though me changing my mind and ignoring his suggestion is right, but neither of us feel like the way he responds is okay either. He was just telling me why he acted the way he did. I understood where he was coming from, but that doesn't mean I approve.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
That's it. Well.
And I think that's okay to also be like, hey, I am not happy with your behavior, but I appreciate that we chatted it out and we're going to now move on.
My boyfriend was rude while my father was saying grace.
Wait until after.
So, I've, 19 female, been dating Kevin, 21 male, for a couple of months now. I was raised Christian, and while I very much believe in God, I wouldn't consider myself super religious or anything. I go to church maybe 10 times a year. Because of that, I thought I might be compatible with an atheist. Oh boy. By the way, this comes from dating an atheist, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit, and OP says, so anyway, on Sunday, Kevin and I went to my parents for dinner. It was their first time meeting him. I thought things were going well till we sat down to eat, and my dad started saying grace. I was looking down, but out of the corner of my eye, I saw Kevin grab his drink and chug it. Once he was done chugging, my dad was saying grace his entire time, mind you. He was getting really loud, open mouth burp.
That's so disrespectful. I hate that.
Oh boy.
I'm sorry. No.
Can you guys control your burps?
If someone, I mean,
yeah,
well, okay, it depends. It depends. But
you
like,
don't drink a carbonated drink right beforehand.
also, you just shouldn't be drinking it while the dad's saying grace.
That legit is one of my pet peeves, is when somebody they burp, but they can't like close their mouth. They have to like let it out.
Yeah. There is a difference between like a loud belch that you can kind of stop that. But regardless, I just think you shouldn't be drinking. Like if someone's doing grace, it doesn't last that long.
Yeah.
You could just wait a moment.
Or just like it's like a sneeze.
He's
you
like
know?
chugging a drink while.
Yeah.
That's
like,
super rude.
It's just like a minute, 3 minutes if someone's getting pretty passionate. 10 minutes if someone wants to speak before everyone has to do supper at a little family reunion and they really have a lot to say on their mind.
I just think, like, be respectful.
Those get to me. You don't have to pray for 10 minutes. Everyone's starving.
Oh, yeah. My aunt will do that.
Food's getting cold.
Mom will do like a whole thing. Gotta go. Everyone's gotta go around.
What they're
and
thankful
stare,
for.
you know?
And,
Yeah, can we do it while
we're so hungry. That's why I like regular grace, where you just go, bless the Lord, and these are gifts we're bound to receive from the magic Christ of the Lord, amen. And then you're done.
Damn, that's that. Remember that? Oh, boy.
I still do it. My dad makes us do it every night.
That's
at
like
Thanksgiving.
Crazy. I remember. I did it with you guys. Yeah.
At Thanksgiving, we do pray, but before that, we also say what we're thankful for. And I'm like, dude, right now, can we at least get
after.
our food going?
I'm thankful for this food. Gonna be in my mouth right now.
Exactly. My dad stopped saying grace to look at Kevin. My dad's mouth was hanging wide open, but he didn't say anything. Kevin didn't even say excuse me or anything. So my dad awkwardly finished saying grace.
This isn't even anything to do with him being an atheist. He's just rude.
Disrespectful.
That's just disrespectful.
It's just, yeah.
Like, imagine if someone, take religion out of it. Imagine if someone is, you know,
the monster.
giving
Take the
a
monster
speech.
out of it.
What?
Take the monster out of it.
Imagine someone's just giving a speech at dinner and saying like, hey, thank you guys for coming out. Really, yeah. I really, that would be rude. You'd be like, what are you doing? Just stop. Just stop.
Oh my gosh. They would pray for 30 minutes before you had breakfast, Nina?
That's terrible.
That's a crime.
That's a crime.
That's a crime. They shouldn't do that. Oh my gosh. Anyways. That's so funny. The dinner itself was painfully awkward. No one acknowledged what happened, but my parents seemed pretty annoyed with Kevin, so they made small talk about the weather, what he was taking in school, etc. After we finished eating, I made an excuse for us to leave, and I drove Kevin home. On the way home, I asked Kevin what his problem was and why he was acting so rude during dinner. At first, he didn't seem to know what I was talking about. Said it's rude to drink during grace. Never mind burping as loud as you can afterwards. He said he's an atheist, so he doesn't have to wait for that kind of thing.
I don't like this guy. Like, I'm sorry, I'm no longer religious. I also know how to be respectful, especially in another person's home.
That has nothing to do with religion.
You're just disrespectful, dude.
Yeah. Also, I have a lot of thoughts on this, but
wouldn't you want your partner's parents to like you?
Yeah, dude.
Like, wouldn't you want to endear yourself to them?
Do you feel good that you like stuck it to the big man? Like,
yeah,
oh.
Good job, dude. Like, if I had a partner who was, I don't know, like a different religion, their parents were like, maybe like, let's say, if I had a partner who's Jewish.
Pick a fun one. Jewish, come on, pick a fun, like a different one out there.
Hindu.
Hindu?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they were doing like
Taoism.
Sure, they were Taoist. I don't know what.
I love learning about that one.
Though.
It's like the yin yang kind of thing.
Yeah, but I don't know if they have any like.
Even better, you don't even know what's going on there.
Okay, well, with Judaism, there are like different prayers and stuff that you do. My point is, if they're doing something and I'm like, well, I'm not Jewish, so I'm gonna be like, F you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat my food. Like, stop.
Yeah.
Be respectful.
Yeah, that's.
As long as they're not forcing you to join their religion and they're being respectful of you, then be respectful to them.
I agree. As a Christian, like, even if you are at someone's house and they're saying grace, you have to be respectful and mindful of it. You can't just do this either. But this, I don't know. It honestly, it's just a disrespect thing. It is about religion, but again, it's not, if that makes sense. I said, that's ridiculous, as he is still a guest in my parents' home, and he should follow the rules. He went off saying those rules are BS. Kept going on about how religion is the worst thing ever.
Shut up. I really don't like this guy.
By the time I dropped him off, I was pretty pissed and wanted nothing to do with him. I haven't talked to him since, but breaking up with him is a given. That's not why I'm here. I'm here because one of the things he said to me was, why are you dating an atheist if you expect him to act religious? I didn't think simply not eating or drinking till after grace was acting religious.
It's not.
But now I'm questioning that. I know Reddit is very pro-atheist, so I want to get opinions from other atheists. I've never dated one before, Kevin, so I don't know. He says any self-respecting atheist would do the same thing. Is that true? Or is he just an a-hole? My cousin had warned me about dating an atheist, but considering I don't take religion too seriously, I didn't think it would be an issue. Maybe I was wrong and not compatible.
You're not compatible with this guy.
No. This guy's just rude. It's the same thing as like you go to a sports event or like any sporting event and they do the
national anthem
and someone's like eating, walking, or like talking loudly. That's the same kind of mindset.
Yeah. I think there was,
30
there's
seconds,
a lot of people who do not like hold their hand over their hearts.
Yeah.
But there is just a general respect that like there are moments just culturally or religiously where you're supposed to have silence, there's supposed to be a prayer, anything. You never have to involve yourself in that, in the sense of like, you don't have to speak, you don't have to stand if that's what you don't want to do, but be respectful of other people in the area who are participating. This has nothing to do with atheists. Like, I think that's such a stupid, like, I don't like that your friends were saying, oh, you can't be dating an atheist, you should have expected. It's like, no, just find someone who's respectful and who's not an a-hole, because this guy's just being rude.
Yeah, I do think, you know, as a Christian, dating someone that isn't a Christian or doesn't believe the same beliefs as you, it will be harder and it will be tougher because you guys don't really have the same values or boundaries. But I think it's more of the question of, can you find someone that will respect you as a human and as a woman?
Respect.
Yeah, and he doesn't have that for you. And, you know.
I want to see how this guy acts in just arguments too.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Because if this is how he's arguing things, he's
oh, dude, I could not. Oh.
And again, it has nothing to do with him being an atheist. It has nothing to do with him being an atheist. It's just the common decency of like, okay, respect.
Yeah, exactly. So, relevant comments. No with the red. Kevin didn't behave that way because he's an atheist. He behaved that way because he's a rude little crap. He says any self-respecting atheist would do the same. No, they wouldn't. He did get a rise and acts somehow superior. Kevin's an idiot. Source, atheist that has sat through many prayers, graces, and weird spiritual moments other people have. I keep my mouth shut and usually just think about food or what adult soda I want. Sometimes cool movies. OP says, thanks. I know you're right, but Kevin has this way of talking that makes him seem like everything he says is correct. And I guess it made me self-doubt. Also, don't be with someone that can't have a conversation with you.
And who makes every time you have a conversation, they're like, no, that's not right.
You're wrong. I'm right.
Blah, blah, blah. Like, stop. Shut up. You're not fun. I don't like you.
Please give us an update after you've punted that turd to the curb. He has a lot of growing up to do. I can't imagine how awful you must have felt in that moment. Thankfully, it's only been a few months. OP says not much of an update, but reading the comments made me realize just how much of an a-hole he is. I started to think about past times where he refused to think he was wrong. He's very arrogant. I don't know why I didn't realize that until now. I was already planning on breaking up with him, so I sent a little text a while ago saying it's over. His response was, whatever.
Oh my God.
Again, I called it out. Yeah, this guy, just how he acts is high and mighty.
Rude.
Just put the prayer hands emojis right back to him.
Send prayers.
Okay, OP continues. Thank you, everyone, for the responses. You're absolutely right. This is a matter of Kevin being a knucklehead, nothing about atheist. Hi, I'm Arrows says, show Kevin the comments on this post.
He's not going to care.
OP says, not worth my time, to be honest.
He said whatever when OP broke up with him. He's not going to care.
She says, I'm done with him. He'll have to figure out just how arrogant he is on his own. We got an update. 6 weeks later.
I hope it's just that you stayed broken up.
Yeah.
That's it.
I hope this doesn't turn anything creepy or like he's stalking you or something.
I really hope not. That would be bad.
And like, I remember when we did say grace at one dinner and someone was like talking and he didn't know. He genuinely didn't know. Yeah. And that's okay to be like, oh, hey, this is the time to like, shh. And
yeah.
Like, okay.
You can be like, hey, we're just.
He's like, oh, my bad. The fact that he knew, he's like, I don't care.
You didn't care. Yeah. But it's not even like, I didn't know I needed to be silent. Belching? In general, in front of your girlfriend's parents is never really okay unless, you have that type of relationship, which clearly they don't.
And not saying excuse me.
It's not saying excuse me.
Or like acting like it's my fault. Yeah. No,
I would be so embarrassed if I had a partner who like belched in front of my parents, one of the first times they met them. I'd be like, I'm so sorry.
It's the same time like when say OP's dad was telling a story and he belches, it's the same notion.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, my bad. Like, not even my bad.
We got an update 6 weeks later. First of all, I want to thank everyone. And that made me really see how wrong Kevin was. Kevin and I broke up right after that incident. It made me realize a lot of things about a relationship that I guess I wasn't seeing clearly before. He was really arrogant and manipulative. He had this way of saying things that made it sound like he was right 100% of the time and that anything I said was stupid.
And he probably also had this kind of view of like, because OP was religious, that automatically made her like stupid and naive.
Oh, yeah.
Because I feel like sometimes you can get people who are more academic and like, I'm an atheist and everyone who has religion is an idiot.
Yeah, like I said, I read this guy like a freaking book.
It's like, no, let's be respectful. You can not believe in it and still be respectful of someone's practices.
You're not an atheist. You don't believe that? Yeah, you're lower than me.
Haven't you heard about science?
Yeah, it's like you would treat them like children. And it's so disrespectful.
Thankfully, I haven't encountered that at all. It wasn't until after I read all the comments that overwhelmingly said he was in the wrong that I just realized how manipulative he was. maybe I should mention that Kevin was really hot. Like, really hot. So, okay. We can't blame you much, girl.
All right. It's all right.
She gave into the temptation of the flesh, you know?
It happens.
It happens to the best of us. So maybe that's why I didn't realize how much of a butt he was until later, lol. Anyway, this isn't so much as an update as our relationship. It's just a funny story I heard, but I've been working a summer job for the past while in my hometown where both Kevin and I live. It's not a tiny town where everyone knows each other, but it's not huge either. Okay, it's like Hickory, North Carolina. Anyway, at work, I was talking with some of my coworkers on a break, and the conversation of terrible exes came up. The story that my coworker decided to share was about, you guessed it, Kevin.
No
Kevin!
way. He keeps showing up.
Kevin, stop eating my tennis ball.
We forgot about Kevin.
What'd you say?
Kevin off of Up.
Oh, no, I was thinking Kevin from Home Alone.
I was thinking Kevin from Ben 10.
I like how we have 3 different Kevins all in mind.
What Kevin are you thinking about right now?
Yeah.
Put in the comments below.
Costner. Thank you.
Now Bacon. You lost. You couldn't think of a Kevin in time.
Think of another Kevin.
Apparently, they dated about a year ago. My coworker, let's call her Brenda, that's my grandmother's name, had to go to her cousin's wedding, and Kevin was her +1. During the ceremony, Kevin got really bored, and he decided to let everybody know. Apparently, he started saying stuff like, "Oh my gosh, this is taking so long. And is it almost over yet?" Kept going on and on. He wasn't so loud that everyone could hear him, but the people around him definitely could. Brenda said a lot of people were turning their heads to look at him, and she was super embarrassed. Apparently, they got into a huge fight between the ceremony and reception, and that was the end of their relationship.
That would be so satisfying to hear. You'd be like, oh my goodness, that's my ex.
I wouldn't even be proud of it.
LOL, I couldn't help but laugh when I heard that story. Sounds exactly like something Kevin would do. By the way, I know what you can do. So you can go to your favorite podcast platform, search up OK Storytime on Apple, iHeartRadio, or Spotify, and listen to more Kevin stories just like this, where people's names aren't Kevin all the time.
It's true. Tons of names.
And yeah, my sister's dog was named Kevin. My brother Kevin, who looked like Kevin from Home Alone when we were kids. Kevin Owens, that's a good one.
But yeah, I think you definitely made the right choice in breaking up with this guy. He stinks. And anytime, if you ever have a partner who makes you feel stupid, maybe not a good partner to have. They shouldn't make you feel stupid.
Don't tell Angie that.
Even if they're smart. You making Angie feel stupid?
No, we just do stupid stuff together, and I'm like, you're so stupid. And then she's like, and then she punches me. But it's like a,
Stop it.
We're just playful that way.
Yeah.
But she'll do that to me all the time, too.
Like, just don't, you should never have a person who's like, it's this in a relationship. Like, you don't want that. Or someone's like making you feel bad.
No.
Even if they know more about things, like certain things than you, it should never be like a rude thing. They should just want to inform you.
Hobie says, anyway, that's it for my update. Things are going well for me. I'm currently enjoying the single life, just working and hanging out with friends. One of the things that Kevin said that really bothered me was that religion never does anything good. That really bothered me. So I started volunteering with a charity that my church helps run once a week, just organizing stuff that's been donated. Maybe I let them get to me, but it feels good to help out. I don't hold anything against atheists. You guys totally convinced me that the problem was Kevin and that many atheists are cool.
Yes.
So thank you for that.
Yeah, it's a lot of like you guys in chat.
Yeah, man.
A lot of people in chat were like, I'm an atheist, and that's crazy.
Yeah, it's super rude. We got one relevant comment. Amos Brothers says, what was your family's response to the dumping? Hope he says, ha ha ha, I guess I shouldn't have left that part out. My parents were shocked by his behavior. Apparently they spent a long time talking about whether they should bring it up with me. They are both very confrontational type of people, and they've always said that they would try to not pass judgment on who I date. But Kevin was just too much for them, and they were planning on telling me what they thought of him. Fortunately for my parents, by the next time I talked to them, we had already broken up. Ha ha ha. So they were definitely relieved. Oh, that's sweet of the parents. And we just got more comments about people being atheists and how they feel about it. So, yeah.
There you go. You figured it out. You solved the problem. You got rid of them. Good job.
And dude, being around someone that's always right, that just makes my brain hurt.
Well, think they're always right.
Oh, dude.
They think they're better than you because of your views, especially your religious views, is wild.
Boo.
Also, I've read this book. Hopefully I can implement it into my life. I read a little of this book called How Not to Give an F. And apparently you have like a limited amount of Fs to give every day. So if you start handing out your Fs that you're giving, then you're going to run out and then you're going to be stressed out.
Oh, I'm giving Fs.
Yeah, but like,
Okay.
you can do that. But if you give too many, then that your day's taken up. You can only give so many. So keep that in mind. How many Fs do you have in your pocket, and how many are you handing out today? For example, there was chicken on the counter, and I was about to be like, whose chicken is this?
Today there was chicken on the counter?
Yesterday.
Yeah, well, whose chicken was it? Well, they were defrosting it, no?
I know, but like they could have defrosted it somewhere else. But guess what? I didn't give an F, and I just decided to go on with my day. But guys, we got another story for you guys. We got another atheist story with Kevin. We have so many more of those. It's your favorite, and we love it.
My husband confessed he saw his ex the day before he proposed.
It was like seeing a ghost.
So, my husband, 28 male, and I, 27 female, got married 3 months ago. We've been together for 3 years now, and now I just feel like everything has gone down the drain. We got into a fight a week ago over practically nothing. It was a stupid fight. We were both really stressed all day because of a personal issue, and it sort of just compounded right before we went to bed, and we just started yelling at each other. As we were fighting, my husband just sort of yelled that ex-girlfriend was right and he shouldn't have rushed into marriage. By the way, this comes from user ThrowawayButterfly11, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I stopped in my tracks. It felt like a bucket of cold water had just been poured on top of me. He immediately stopped talking. It was so silent, my body was shaking, and I ran out of the room and locked myself in the spare bedroom for the night. The next morning, I found him in the kitchen, and he looked like he hadn't slept a wink. I felt bad momentarily until I remembered what he said. He ended up confessing that the night before he proposed to me, he had gotten a text from his ex-girlfriend saying she needed to talk to him. He showed me his phone, and there was the text. Her asking, practically begging to see him, and him agreeing. He explained that she had just been broken up with. Apparently, this guy was horrible to her, and she thought that my husband would be the only person to understand. And they had gotten to talking, and he had told her he was going to propose to me tomorrow, to which apparently she began asking questions about me, about our relationship, and stuff he just began willingly divulging. And then she told him he was rushing into marriage. He reassured me that last night he was just stressed. He didn't mean it, oh buddy, but you said it. And that there is not a day that goes by he doesn't feel like the luckiest man in the world. He was crying, begging for me not to leave him. Things have been tense ever since then. He seems to be overcompensating, or at least overdoing it because he feels like that's what I want. I don't know what I want. I don't even know how to begin to process this. I've sort of been going through it this week, and everyone in my life is telling me different things, so I thought I'd come on here and ask you guys. And we have some comments here, but before we do, it's one of those things where when the genie comes out of the bottle and you say something like that, brother,
it's not only is she finding out that you talked to your ex the night before you proposed to her, she's also finding out that you agree with your ex.
Right.
That's the worst part.
Even if you don't, and you said that as in a weaponized way, it's still like a thing that like you've been married for 3 months and you're already whipping out, my ex was right about you. I shouldn't have married you yet. You kind of have to mean that a little bit if that comes out, right? Because that's a choice.
Yeah.
I would never say that.
Yeah.
I mean, unless I meant it.
And you were breaking up with your partner. Yeah.
Right. Like, that's something that comes out, and then it's like, well, I guess
that's it.
I guess we'll talk to the lawyers.
That's it. Yeah, for sure. We'll see what OP does, though.
I mean, does he have anger issues? Like, is there some kind of maybe you do couples counseling, therapy?
I think do therapy for sure, but
yeah. But if he's just gonna love bomb you, I don't know if your partner is emotionally mature enough for a marriage right now. Comments. I'm curious. Did he ever apologize for not telling you sooner that he went to see her? OP says he apologized after he told me everything that happened, not specifically that he didn't tell me sooner. He just sort of kept apologizing for going to see her over and over again. He also apologized specifically that he threw it back in my face the night prior. I think he sort of was inferring to the whole situation in a way, but he didn't specifically say the words, "I'm sorry for not telling you sooner." I'm not sure if it matters, but yeah. And commenter replies, "Does it matter to you that he didn't tell you about it sooner?" Which again, my statement earlier where I was like, I don't know if you need to tell him or tell her ever.
I think
was based on the fact that you proposed to her.
I see what you're saying.
Because you can't tell them that in the middle of your proposal or the day before your proposal because they're going to just
think about that.
Yes. You can't have your proposal also be about your ex.
But personally, I just wouldn't have gone and saw my ex.
I agree.
I just wouldn't have gone and saw her.
It could also be a phone call, you know?
Yeah.
OP says, yes, it does bother me. We've been married for 3 months and we got engaged 2 months before that. 5 months feels like a long time to keep this hidden. When I said I'm not sure that it matters, I was more saying I'm not sure if the exact wording he used matters, not that I don't care that he didn't tell me sooner. Commenter 2 says, that's an unringable bell. It's not even so much that he saw her and didn't say anything for me. That could have been fine. It's that he's clearly been hearing her words in his head the entire time you've been married. He went into your marriage with doubt and didn't think you two, supposedly a partnership, should even get to have a conversation about that. That's the deal breaker for me. Commenter 3, how can anyone get past this type of betrayal? When he yelled that at you about her and that he agreed he should have never married you, it would have been the end for me. He told you he regrets marrying you. How can that not always be in the back of your mind going forward? Comment 4, I think you two would benefit from couples therapy. He lashed out in anger to hurt you. I understand he immediately regretted it, but he also ended up exposing a lie he hid. He broke your trust seeing her and not mentioning it to you. Did he have a last fling with her? I'd have more questions that I'd want answers to. He owes you a genuine apology and changed behavior.
I think we jump into that update. I think we jump right in.
Let's get it. 4 days later. Oh, it's been an interesting couple of days, but things are looking up. He's been sleeping in the spare room since the argument, but we've had a couple of conversations and have come to a conclusion. We have a counseling session booked for next week, and until then, we have decided to keep our distance as in separate bedrooms. Thank you to everyone who recommended counseling. For some reason, my brain completely forgot that was an option. I want to give him time before we go to our first appointment to really think about what he wants. He kept saying that he didn't mean what he said, but I need to be sure of that before proceeding. If, on the off chance, he truly believes what his ex said, then I need him to come to that conclusion himself, because I don't think I could take it if I knew he was staying with me because of pride and not because he loves me. Really quick, just an okay thing that I said once. Wasn't an ex-girlfriend who had told me that, but it was, I've had a moment in an argument where it's like you say something and then the silence hits you because you're like, oh, dear God, no.
Yeah.
And it was immediately, she was like, get out. And I was like, yeah, that's fair. I'm going to leave.
Yeah,
I'm
you know when you mess up.
And then we talked and it was okay. But yeah, not ex-girlfriend telling me that I shouldn't marry my now wife and keeping it hidden for 5 months.
Yeah.
We're going on a date tomorrow night. He's taking me to the restaurant we went to on our first date, and he seemed excited when he told me, so I guess that's good. I'm excited to have some normalcy return to our marriage, so I hope that maybe it's a turning point. As for his ex, to give some context I didn't give in the last post, my husband met her at a bar, not at her apartment or a hotel room.
I don't care.
Okay, so that's at least you're
I don't
meeting in
care.
public. It is different, though.
I don't care.
Super different from like meeting
Yeah, absolutely, but I
there.
don't care.
Apparently, she looked distraught, or at least like she had been in a bad situation for a while, and I do empathize. I don't want any woman to be in a relationship that is harmful or emotionally draining. I do believe that my husband didn't cheat on me, and I know many of you might think I'm being naive about that, but I know my husband, or at least I think I do. I asked him why he said it if he didn't mean it, and he said he's not sure, which is concerning to me. So I hope he can figure it out in time for the counseling session and we can unpack it. By the way, it's never a bad thing to say that you can join us and listen to full episodes with stories just like this on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts. Wherever you listen to stories, just type OK Story Time and you can listen to the full archive of our show. A whole lot of stories. Before we finish, I mean, do we have anything to add? I think we've kind of hit the nail on the head here.
It seems like they're still gonna stay together, which I feel like they can. They just need to keep having these talks.
Yeah, well, the couples counseling needs to happen.
Yeah.
But the thing about counseling is like you need to be really, really open because
really honest.
There are times where you go to counseling and the end result is, oh, we've realized we're not actually compatible or not good for each other.
And that might happen, and and then that's it.
But maybe try it, because 3 months is a little too early maybe to just
Yeah, to
completely
call your
call it
marriage
off of,
quits. Yeah.
off of one like throwaway like
Comments.
I wanted to hurt your
Yes.
feelings comment.
Yeah.
Well, let's finish this story. I love my husband, and I know he loves me. So while my anxiety is through the roof right now, I hope we can sort this out, because I can't imagine a world where he and I aren't together. We have some more comments here. Number 1, even with this framing, I don't know if that makes it worse. You say that she was heartbroken and distraught from her previous relationship, and your husband thought it was appropriate not only to reveal that he went to see her before your engagement, but also use that distress as information weapons against you as a means to hurt you and your feelings. Is he the one taking the steps to set up counseling? Is he the one doing the work to rebuild trust here? It's good that you're being conscious, but keep doing that and just be realistic. Comment 2, I understand not wanting to walk out because of this. You've put 3 years into the relationship, you're married now, and your lives are entwined in so many ways. People here will judge you for fighting for this, but it's completely understandable that you want to. What I want you not to forget is how you felt when he said those words. I don't want you to forget how you felt that entire night locked in that room. I don't want you to forget the anxiety you're feeling right now, and I don't want you to forget that your husband deliberately said one of the most hurtful things you could say to a partner when having a stupid fight about nothing. He could have said anything, and he went far below the belt. If those are the verbal jabs he throws when you're fighting about nothing of consequence, what's he going to say when you're fighting for something of very real consequence? A third commenter says, I'm pretty sure I know exactly why he said it. He was mad and he wanted to hurt your feelings. And that was the best ammunition he had to do it. When you do the counseling, if you guys decide that you do want to work through this and fix the relationship, healthy communication is going to need to be a huge focal point. He needs to learn how to talk through a disagreement without taking shots at you. And that is the end of that story.
I bought a new car even though I knew my girlfriend would be upset.
And there it is. Uh-oh.
I am 27 and my girlfriend Georgia is 25 and she works as a pharmacy associate. We have been together for 2.5 years and I do see a future with her. I work in healthcare and have been scrimping and saving through most of my 20s. I didn't have much of a college experience and have just stacked money for my future. By the way, this comes from I Buy Audi, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, recently, I got fed up with my Hyundai and decided that it's finally time to trade it in for something nice and comfortable for myself. I told my girlfriend about my plan, and she asked me what cars I was looking at, and she vehemently disagreed. I found it surprising, but I said that I wanted to get the car anyway. This was a point of contention for a while, so I found myself holding off on biting the bullet on purchasing a car. This has been the first real fight in our relationship. I would bring it up and she would either shut it down or would give me some reason I didn't find particularly convincing. It's too expensive. Well, I can afford it. I have a lot of money saved. Eventually, I was getting frustrated and I vented with my friend and he said, she's joining into your life. She can either hop on or not. You don't need her permission. I figured that was a valid point. So I told Georgia that I was getting a car. She said, do what you want, and that was that.
Wait, I'm confused why she's against it.
Yeah.
She's just against it?
She gave it's too expensive.
But it's
But
your
he's
money.
been saving for all of his 20s, and it's his money.
It's his money. You guys aren't married.
Yeah, I could see the thing, because if you get like a nice car, you also have to get nice insurance, and then on top of that, you also have to get nice gas. So
yeah, but like at the end of the day, it's his.
It is his.
He's
I mean,
saving for a decade.
Yeah.
if my girlfriend wanted to get like a really nice Chevrolet, and I was like, hey, you're gonna have to like pay more in gas, more in this and money, and if they're like always talking about how like they don't have a lot of money, I probably would be mad.
Sure, I could give advice.
Yeah,
and be like, hey, like, do you have the money for that?
Right, but if they came back and they were like, I have the money for it, I've been saving, I'd say,
wait a
oh,
minute.
great. I got a 2022 Audi A6 45 Premium Plus. I test drove it and it rode so smooth. It had black leather seats, white exterior, low miles, clean Carfax, and 20-inch V-rims. I was so happy. Oh, here we go. I got it for $39K out of the door. I put $15K down, traded in my Hyundai, and financed the rest through my credit union. I drove home grinning ear to ear. I called my girlfriend later that day and invited her to my apartment. I cooked her salmon and mashed potatoes and cracked open a store-bought cheesecake. Eventually, I took her outside and showed her the car. I figured once she saw how nice of a purchase I made, maybe she wouldn't be so mad. After all, could you be mad as a passenger princess in German luxury? It was a vain hope. She was upset. She said, "You actually did it?" I said, "Yeah." I said I was going to. We started bickering. She asked how much it cost. I told her. She said, "That's more than I make in a year." I said, "Yeah, but I can afford it." We went back and forth, but the argument devolved. Eventually, I said, "If you can't be happy for me, you can just go ahead and go home." She started tearing up and apologized. I apologized for snapping. We just had a quiet night in after that. Today, I spoke with my girlfriend, and she said that she wanted an apology from me for disregarding her feelings regarding me purchasing an expensive vehicle. I told her no apology was coming for that. I was happy with my purchase. She can either get over it or not, but how she felt about it was not my problem to solve. She said that was really mean, and I said it was really mean she was trying to control my purchases as a grown man. Am I the a-hole? And we have some comments. Do you have any thoughts, or do you want to just jump to the comments?
I think
basically she's still mad about it, even though he was like, "I can pay for it."
I don't know why she's so mad about it.
She's demanding I don't understand. An apology.
For what? For him
They
buying
got
a car?
little snappy at each other.
I think it's a little silly.
I think ultimately they're not married. They're not set to be getting married. We have some comments. Comment 1. Not the a-hole. Evidently, y'all don't even live together. Not her call. No apology is necessary on your part. Just watch out if she continues to harp about it. Shut it down immediately. You might want to reconsider the relationship. You are young and saved for this beautiful car and had every right to purchase it. This is coming from a mom and grandma. A reply. Best thing to do is treat the car right. Do the required maintenance and will run for a long time. Personally, I've always bought the low-end Honda Civic, ran it for 125,000 miles before I had to sell it for moving overseas. New owner took it for a test drive and asked if I wanted more money because it was in pristine shape. Gave him a friends and family discount. Ultimately, it seems you and the girlfriend are not on the same page financially. It's difficult to see this relationship working out long term. And Opie says, it's a German car, so it's even more important to be on top of maintenance. I'm going to treat her like a princess. The car is that. The girlfriend? TBD right now. She's upset at me.
I think that's just such a silly thing to be upset about.
Yeah. I also don't think that comment was necessary, but...
Yeah, I have a...
my car
is very nice. Blah, blah, blah.
I'm not sure about her.
Yeah. This is... you know what I would say to the girlfriend? I would pull a Superman. I would say, well, you know that's very silly. That's what I would say.
Comment 2. If she has no financial involvement, she has no say over what you do with your money. Yeah. And someone says, 100% correct. She can, however, consider how he spends his money as a factor in whether he is someone she wants to stay in a long-term relationship with and potentially marry. Sounds like OP is already prepared for the possibility she may break up with him, though. Update. Well, I got to the root of the issue with my girlfriend after we spoke yesterday. First things first, to clear up a few commonly mentioned things in the comments. My girlfriend wasn't expecting a ring. Didn't want one while she was deciding whether to go to grad school or pharmacy school. I can afford the car. I work as a nurse making over $70K and have a lot of savings. Math Riley, can he afford it?
Math Riley.
Depending on where where he lives, and then $70K for a $500 a month car. That's, I mean.
But he'd be done with that in 3 years, and presumably he'd still be a nurse.
No. He'd be done with that if it was just
500 was 3 years.
No, 530 without the gas and everything like that.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's still a hefty expense that if I was making that much at that age, I probably would put that towards like investments. But your money, man. You can definitely afford it though.
I've worked as a nurse for 4 years. I lived with my parents for 3 of those years and didn't spend much at all. The used Audi A6 I purchased is the biggest purchase I've ever made, and I wanted to finance half of it in case I want a mortgage in the future. Things have gotten better between the two of us since the exchange at the end of our last post. I did take her out to get some ice cream and also surprised her by taking her to get her nails done as well. She asked if I was trying to bribe her out of being mad, and I said no, just trying to be kind, even though I had planned these weekend activities ahead of time and was still fairly mad at her. Normally, after a date out, we would wrap things up at my place, but I didn't have the bandwidth and wanted some space. I dropped her back off at her parents' house and asked if she could come by my place tomorrow so we could just quash the issue looming over our relationship. She said okay. I ran errands yesterday and prepared for my girlfriend to come by. Around 6, she came by after her shift. I sat her down at the table with a pizza. There's the bribe.
The bribe is a whole day thing.
Yeah.
It's multiple steps to this bribe. Yeah.
Smart man. It would work on me.
Would work on. It's already working.
It's already working on me.
It's already working. Oh my goodness, what I wouldn't give for a pizza,
ice cream, and
nails. I don't really get my nails done, but that would work on me.
It.
And then maybe a little forehead kiss.
A little smooch on the way
out.
A little smooch. Oh, dinner. Look at her, longing into the distance. And basically just asked that we keep it civil and try not to get too emotional. I asked her why the car was too expensive. She said that it just was. It's an excess and wasteful. I said that I agree. That caught her off guard.
She's like yelling at you. She's like, it's excessive and wasteful. And you're like, yeah. And she's like, well, I didn't.
Okay. Oh. I told her that I saved a lot of money and basically spent very little on myself. So just once, I wanted to be excessive on myself. She asked if it's a one-off thing. I said probably. I intend to treat the car very well. I asked why her reaction was so strong to the car. This is where she kind of shut down a little. I prodded her a little. She said that she decided she wanted to go to pharmacy school. She was going to tell me soon, and while she was making this big adult decision in her eyes, here I was blowing a bunch of money on a luxury car. I congratulated her on making up her mind on a career. I didn't particularly agree with the characterization, but I could see how she could see it that way. I asked which school she was applying to, and she mentioned a few public universities in our state. I asked how she was planning on paying, and she said she had no other options than loans. She was also hoping I would be willing to help out or chip in.
There it is,
folks.
Waiting for it. There it is, folks. She wants your money, and that's why she's upset that you're paying something else with it.
Dang.
She's not entitled to it.
If that was the case, I would get a game plan for an investment, because I'm going to be investing in you. This will be interest, whenever we get married or whatever. I want you to do the chores or whatever. Like, I don't know, make an investment, or like say you pay more for the house or whatnot.
I'm sorry, there's so much happening behind you.
It's okay. Anyways.
I told her that I loved her, but that she took out her anxieties of being able to pay for her pharmacy degree on me instead of being happy for me. She apologized for that and said she didn't realize that getting a nice car meant a lot to me. She started crying and I held her for a bit. By the way, you can always hold on to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, your favorite podcast app, and search OK Storytime.
Do it.
We have a little bit more, but that's crazy.
Really, I don't know. So presumptuous of her.
Yeah. Well, I thought you'd put $15,000 down on my school.
Truly crazy to me for her to have had this whole thing where she's upset, blah, 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 thinks that him buying a car is excessive, a waste. And then you're like, why is she acting like this? And you find out that this whole time she doesn't have the money to spend on the school that she wants to, and was expecting you to use money and never talk to you about it.
And
never
also
asked.
She said get a loan, but then him just she wasn't expecting to pay you back that money.
No.
She was just like, I just thought you'd chip in for it.
I thought you'd just give it to me. That's crazy.
We spoke for a long time after that. In sum, though, things are uncertain. I feel like I saw a really bad side of her before we took some really big steps together. Her lack of communication and feeling of control over my purchase concerned me, and I don't think it would be a good idea for me to marry her. I say marry her because there is no way I would support someone through a pharmacy degree without some sort of legal reassurance. Things left on a bittersweet note, but an I love you nonetheless. I dropped her off back at her parents' house. Right now, I'm 90% leaning towards ending this relationship because I just don't see us heading in the same direction anymore. I probably won't update or respond to comments for a while. I have 2 back-to-back shifts starting tomorrow, and I'm going to hit the hay after this post. It's the end.
And there you go.
My girlfriend and I ran into people she dislikes, and it's ruining our relationship.
Did you not gossip about them with her afterwards?
I, 27 male, have been with my girlfriend, 27 female, for almost 3 years. This feels dumb even typing it out. Tonight was supposed to be a great night. A band that my girlfriend really loves was on tour. I spent hundreds of dollars on tickets and a hotel, and we drove 3 hours to the show. All for it to get spoiled. Spoiled it. By the way, this comes from user owndragonfruit9074. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So we went to the bar to get a drink, and someone recognized me and said hi. I introduced my girlfriend, and we made small talk and went our separate ways. Then we were talking about it, and I told her they were in this band that she hates. It's already been previously established that I like the band and she doesn't. And she always goes on a rant about them and insults them anytime they're brought up. They're a decently big band, like over 1 million streams on Spotify. Anyway, her reasons for not liking them are strictly about the music, not any controversies or anything personal. I thought we would share a laugh over the fact that she finally met people in this band that she hates, and they turned out to be pleasant people who are also fans of one of her favorite bands. Nope. She was pissed for some reason and started ranting about how she hates them and their loser fans. I told her I can't control who I run into in public and that it's kind of silly for her to get so worked up over it. Then she angrily went off to get another drink. I went over to her to stand next to her in line, and she yelled, "Get away from me."
Oh my God.
In front of a bunch of people. I break up with her now.
I go, okay, I'm going to stay away forever.
Yeah, I'll just,
You hate my band and you hate me.
I basically decided at that point that this was the last straw. We have broken up previously over her yelling at me in public, and there have been more times than I can count where I take her to some event or on a trip and regret taking her because it's impossible for me to predict what she's going to get mad at me about next.
Okay, this is just an unhealthy relationship. It doesn't really have anything to do with this specific instance.
Yeah. Also, why would you keep spending hundreds of dollars if you know this is a possibility?
I'm sorry, if every time I went to an event with a partner, they like spoiled it, I'd be like, I don't think this is working.
Yeah, I'd be like, what? Of course, it's my fault every time. And even if I apologize, it will still be held against me forever. She came back all apologetic, and we ended up having a good night, and I thought it was behind us. Then we got back to the hotel, and I was like, hey, I have a video to show you. And then she was like, it better not be that effing band, and proceeded to go on a 5-minute uninterrupted rant about them again while insulting them and people who like them, aka me. I was just kind of taken aback, and I said to her, all I said was, I have a video to show you, and then you go on that rant. That's kind of nuts. This turned into like 15 minutes of arguing, and she basically blamed me for taking it personally and making a bigger thing out of it than it is. Now she's asleep, and I'm still awake, in bed typing this out, planning on breaking things off tomorrow once I have made it home safely. Probably a good idea to do it then.
I agree.
There's an edit here. Thank you guys for sharing your opinions and letting me vent. It's very late, but I can't sleep and really needed this outlet. In just the last 3 weeks, I've lost my job and a family member.
Oh my God.
Losing my girlfriend, too, just feels like another punt in the balls.
Ouch.
But I worry it may hurt me more to stay with her.
I think
agree.
it would in the long term.
I agree.
But with this short term, just get back with her so you can get through all these hard things, use her for emotional stability, and then get out of there.
Horrific advice from Riley.
Terrible advice from the peanut
that's
gallery.
why we always know what not to do when Riley gives us the most horrific advice possible.
Riley likes to rage bait sometimes.
No.
Invaluable service.
Yeah.
I hate to be all, poor me, but things have been rough, and I have a hard time sharing stuff like this with people that I know, so I appreciate all of you.
You're
and there
welcome.
are some
We don't know
comments. Comments. Number 1, not overreacting. What did this band ever do to her? Was there music in the background during some trauma she suffered or something? OP says it's dumb. Basically, she thinks they're posers that ripped off other bands that she does like. Comment 2, she's clearly unhinged. Why do you put up with this? She has done this before and you put up with it? OP says, I don't know, man. It sounds ridiculous typing this stuff out loud. Last week was even worse. Left a funeral early to go to a show that we had planned for a Valentine's weekend getaway. And on the way there, we stopped at McDonald's and I got her nuggets without fries. Even though she didn't tell me what she wanted after I said we'd be stopping at McDonald's, the fact that I did not get fries was a massive F up that almost ruined the whole evening.
She sounds like a nightmare. You left a funeral. You guys had just been at a funeral and she's acting like this?
And you know what I really did think? How could I be so stupid and inconsiderate as to not ask what she wanted and make sure to get fries?
Oh my God.
Then after that show, she wanted to go to a bar. We hadn't even checked into the hotel yet because we'd gone straight to the venue from the funeral. Then that became a whole fight because I was exhausted and didn't want to go. Of course, it is my fault. My uncle had passed away and ruined the vibe, I guess.
Why did your uncle pass away? We had such a nice evening planned and then we had to go see your deceased uncle.
It's like, what is he going to do? He's not going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere. What's the point?
I don't know, man. We always kiss and make up and keep going like business as usual.
Yikes.
It's hard to end a 3-year relationship.
Oh.
It's especially hard when your life has gone down the drain in that time. Got laid off, living at home, financial situation sucks, social life has declined, confidence lower than it's been in a long time. I feel like the last 3 of those things could be directly tied to your girlfriend.
Yep, I agree.
It feels like she's all I got. And that's why you feel so terrible.
Yep, I agree.
She's got you feeling like that.
She's got you feeling terrible. Terrible.
Like having a hot girlfriend. There it is.
There it is, folks. How do you
is.
stay with this woman for 3 years? She's hot.
She's a hottie.
She's crazy and hot.
Like having a hot girlfriend is the only thing I have to show the world I'm not a complete loser. And she stuck with me through a whole lot. For a while, I really thought she was the one. Comment 3, the yelling of get away from me in a bar is dangerous as F for him.
Yeah.
I know I and several other people would investigate if a woman was screaming at some dude to get away from her in a bar. And there's an update.
Uh-oh.
Let's go ahead and get into it.
Okay.
It was a long car ride back. She tried patching things up this morning. She could definitely tell something was up and was adamant that we use the 3-hour drive to have a talk to try to fix things. She was optimistic even. She still blamed the band for ruining the night, but admitted that her yelling at me was not okay. I told her that this one night was not even the big issue. It's the pattern that's the issue. I'm hurting badly and I don't feel supported at all, and it hurts me to see her upset, and it feels like I can't make her happy no matter what I do, which just makes me feel even worse. And I just can't do it anymore. I brought up how we'd broken up before, and when we got back together, we agreed to handle things differently, but now it feels like we're just right back where we were, only now I'm even lower than I was then. She made it seem like she's fine with how things are going. She just gets jealous and angry. It's no big deal. And it was kind of strange because I poured my heart out, and then she was quiet for like 20 minutes. Then I said it was strange that she wants us to fix it, but isn't saying anything about how we might do that. And she said, well, it seems like you already made up your mind, and I can't change who I am.
Oh, there it
Dang.
is, everyone.
Ooh, that's crazy.
Yeah, you could change into being a better person, but you
Dang.
don't want to.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't
Oh.
realize that you were still the same goo goo gaga baby that your mom pushed out
Oh, you're a little baby.
because you can't change at all.
You're a little baby and you never change.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, that's not true.
You
You
realize
you
you're
can
the
change.
same nightmare child you were when you were 2.
Goo goo gaga. And then she said if I really loved her and had a passion for her, that I would make us do the work to stay together and wouldn't give up.
I guess I don't really love you then.
You literally just said you're not going to change anything, and then you're telling him he needs to do the work.
Yeah, of course. That's so reasonable.
Guys, I can't tell you how many times we fought and then had conversations that at the time seemed productive about how we can be better moving forward, which ended up changing absolutely nothing. I tried to make it work, and it took a long time for me to give it up. By the way, it'll take a long time for you to listen to all of the full episodes with stories just like this one on your favorite podcast platform. Just search OK Storytime, and you can listen to the entire archive of all of these juicy Reddit stories.
So true.
But we have a little bit more story here. I don't even have anything left to say.
No,
'Cause this,
just break up with her.
yeah,
It's a nightmare.
I would probably
You'll
it
see her in
sounds
her
like somebody
dreams.
who's going to not really let it go off into the night quietly. I think she's
No.
being like, well, it
This
sounds like you've
woman
already
will
made up your
not
mind.
Go gently off into this night.
She's gonna pull some craziness on you. So
Indeed.
be be ready. Be prepared for the craziness.
Be at the ready.
She also asked if I, quote, found someone else.
Oh, Lord.
Like I said, get ready for the crazy. Because this was so sudden and out of nowhere. And I'm like, it's not out of nowhere. We fight all the time. And I've been telling you I don't feel loved.
Yep.
We shifted gears eventually and reminisced about the good times, which I guess to her was misleading. Because then she seemed to think we weren't breaking up. And that's when I said, I think we are. I don't know what else to do. It just kind of spilled out of me. And she was shocked and angry, and then she didn't want to talk anymore.
Well, there you go.
And now she is gone, and I am in shambles. Don't be in shambles, brother. You just lost a whole bunch of dead weight. Don't even worry about it.
You're good, buddy.
I feel really bad, and it hurts even more knowing she probably feels as bad as I do right now, maybe even worse. I feel like maybe if I were in a better state of mind, I would not have done this. But I've been so down that I don't know what else to do. It's like I just said, oh, this hurts. I got to make it stop. Without really thinking about the long-term repercussions. What are the long-term repercussions? That you don't have a terrible, toxic girlfriend?
Long-term repercussions is you're going to be much happier.
Yeah.
Yay.
Oh, no. I don't know. I'm so sad. Yeah, because you just broke up with your girlfriend, but it's going to be better.
It'll be so much better in the long. You're going to be like, oh, wow, this is good. Like 3 months from now.
This is good news, Mark.
You can be a bee.
You can finally dump that nasty... She can be, and you can do you.
So true.
Wow.
My girlfriend demands I risk my job because of her friend's problems.
No.
I, male 19, work in Target, and we recently received a new store team lead like a GM. In early 2020, a few team members in our store began wearing equality clothes. This is masks and face coverings mostly, that they bought for themselves, and they were not Target brand. A few weeks later, Target began providing us with Target branded equality t-shirts and masks that we were allowed to wear on site. And our old STL, store team leader, allowed team members to continue to wear the outside brand equality stuff that people had already bought if they wanted to. But he is no longer here now, and we have a new STL. By the way, this comes from Throwaway Not Sure 23, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. Woo. And I am Angie.
I'm Sophia.
And I'm Riley.
And OP says our new STL has issued a change since coming on board. He's fully supportive of supporting equality causes, and our team leads have even volunteered with team members at volunteer events as well to support the cause. However, he prefers that we wear Target brand equality clothing instead of outside or homemade stuff, since in the case of a customer potentially having an issue with it, it'll be easier to handle if it's a nationally handed out product compared to something that isn't a part of the dress code. For me, I wore them in rotation with my other regular work clothes, just like I did during Target's Pride Month shirts on rotation, along with our occasional new promotional clothing drops. However, this is where the problem began. I work mostly backroom, and my girlfriend, female 18s, works mostly register. One of her friends has been wearing a BLM t-shirt dating back to before our new STL arrived, and from what I've been told, our new STL talked to him after he continued to wear his own outside face coverings, even after he made the announcement about the change. However, even after that talk, he still continued to do it. Is it any of my business? No. He works guest services, and I only see him in passing when I bring online orders to the front for a few moments, and we don't really talk anyway. However, my girlfriend is more casual with the people up front because from the few times I've worked up there, there's more standing around and dry moments that can provide more time to talk and chill, in my opinion. So she's pretty cool with most of the people up there. However, after he received a write-up for continuing to do so after being talked to, he apparently told some others, including my girlfriend, that he's being targeted and shouldn't be told how to protest. Personally, I prefer to keep politics out of work when it comes to talking to fellow team members, but I do wear the equality and pride shirts like anything else, and many others I know do the same thing. However, my girlfriend agrees that he's being targeted, and she told me that she wants to stand with him and protest. I told her that I don't really know the person too well, along with my stance about not talking politics with other team members, and most definitely not protesting the place I work at, when in my opinion, I don't necessarily agree with him being targeted. We're provided with equality shirts and masks and face coverings, but he's insistent on wearing custom stuff that isn't store branded even after being talked to. And I disagree with how my girlfriend says that makes our new STL the R word. Okay.
Oh, wait. Whoa.
Okay. That's crazy.
Wait,
because we're talking about equality. We're talking about
using
protest,
the R word?
and she's just straight up using the R word.
What?
That's crazy.
I had like thoughts, and then that just wiped my brain.
That's wild.
That's
dude.
crazy.
We needed to pause there.
I'm sorry. She's trying to protest for equality, but is using slur.
That's so crazy, dude. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, yeah. The thing is like, I don't think the new STL is like, no, you aren't allowed to protest. They are literally giving them equality shirts and stuff.
I'm all about a good protest.
Yeah.
You know me. I like a protest. I think protests are important.
Sure.
However, when you work at a place,
Mm-hmm.
you have to be aware that certain forms of protest, companies not going to like.
Yeah.
Think that what you're protesting for is more important than your job, which it probably is or might be.
Mm-hmm.
Then you just have to be prepared to lose your job. You cannot ask other people who are,
Back to the story. I told her that she's free to do what she chooses and that it is her opinion and she's allowed to have it like I'm allowed to have mine. But she told me that she wants me to protest alongside her, but I told her that I don't really feel comfortable doing so. I don't consider Target a career job and I would have left sooner if not for keeping something to have money during the pandemic, but I'm actually in the process of working towards a management position and the last thing I need is to protest against management. However, she called me selfish for not wanting to support him and, quote, only looking out for myself, to which I told her it's none of my business what another employee does, him, when I barely even know him, along with how I'm not going to risk my job during a pandemic when I have to pay for my rent. I live by myself, my car insurance, my gas, and my tuition by myself. She doesn't pay for anything, but she's calling me selfish and entitled. Her parents cover her gas, bought her car, pay for her college, and don't charge her rent. And someone else commented last time that, quote, it's easy to take a stand when you don't have much to lose.
Yes, it is a very privileged take.
Yeah.
To say that other people who are not protesting for something that you think is important, I mean, if it's for BLM, that's very important.
Sure.
It is a very privileged take to say that if you see someone else not protesting the same way that you are, that they're being selfish or don't support the cause.
Exactly.
When you have money and a plan to fall back on if you lose this job. Exactly. I would say I'm in a position where I am able to go to a lot of different protests for things that I believe in because I have more privilege in that. Therefore, I think that like with that privilege, I want to use that for good.
Yeah.
But I can't go and tell a mom with 4 kids that her not showing up to a protest is selfish and hurting the cause.
Right.
That would be hypocritical and pretty stupid of me.
Yeah.
So I think that it's unfair for her to expect that from you when she has a totally different situation.
I absolutely agree. So I feel like she's shaming me for not putting myself out there with her, saying stuff like she's disappointed in me, but I refused to argue with her initially. I ended our first conversation by saying that we're allowed to have different opinions and that this was more so her friend than mine. And that while I love and support her, currently rethinking our relationship while writing this, it isn't fair for her to say those things because my opinion is different than hers. However, she continued to shame me, so instead of fighting back, I just walked away and decided to go home, although I didn't consider ending things as of yet. I figured that she was really upset with the current political climate, and it was just a one-night argument, something that couples have and have to work through. But when I tried to talk to her again a few days later, it didn't go any better, and she just repeated her stance and continued to insult me. And there are some comments. Comment number 1 says, it isn't like you have to have an elaborate breakup plan. Just tell her that recent events have made you realize that she can't deal with disagreements without resorting to name calling and insults, and that is not the kind of person you want to be in a relationship with. So it's over. Opie says, this is my first relationship, so I was a little nervous about how to do it exactly since we work in the same job, which is why it's slightly more weird and something I should have also considered maybe earlier too, but it doesn't excuse the insults that she gave. Yeah, also, she might be quitting her job soon, so like, you'll be good.
Which is her right. If you don't want to work for a corporation that doesn't support the causes that you believe in, then don't. Yeah. I agree.
As simple as that. So there is a response. As a Target worker myself, tell your HR you broke up if she's giving you any trouble at work, or even your STL. Comment number 2 says, you sound very mature and level-headed. She sounds very immature and inconsiderate. You don't have to go into a whole spiel, but you can say something to the effect of, you want to support your friend, and I understand that, but I also understand that you think I'm selfish and that you have tried to shame me because I don't see things the way you do. The difference between the two of us is that you live at home and your mom and dad pay for all of your bills, but I am an adult and I live on my own and I take care of my own bills. I'm not about to risk my livelihood because someone else has an opinion about what I should think. Since your opinion of me is so low, it's best if we end this now. Don't be angry when you say it, just say it very matter-of-factly. I think you're making the right choice to end this. The last thing you want in your life is someone telling you how to think. It's so annoying when people do that. And for the record, I think your level head would make you a very good manager. And we do have an update.
Yeah.
Oh boy, do we think they're gonna make it?
I honestly think that they could get out of this without breaking up. If he came to her and said like, hey, I'm really hurt that you think that, you think all these things and that you've been saying all of this stuff.
Right.
And like, these are the reasons why I can't do this. And don't come from like they're your friend, not mine. Just be like, I don't have the same, fallback that you do. I don't have the same safety net.
Yeah.
And like, if you want to be truly a good activist, you just have to understand that people come from different backgrounds and different circumstances and have that conversation.
Exactly.
And if she still is like, then it's over.
Right. But we do have an update. So it was after our second talk, the follow-up, that I considered ending things, but I wanted to try once more just to have no regrets in thinking that I didn't try hard enough. But after her most recent comments, I'm just looking for assurance to potentially end things now. When I talked to her again, I told her that I want to work through our disagreement like adults and that shaming has no place from me or from her, along with how I do support the cause if she doesn't think I do. And that I have worn the equality in pride t-shirts on many occasions. But she told me that it's easy to wear pride shirts because people haven't been through anything compared to black people.
Whoa!
And that comment really put me off and made me think that she wasn't able to be reasoned with. By the way, I hope that I can reason with you and convince you to watch full episodes or listen to full episodes with more stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever your favorite podcast app is, and search OK Storytime. That's where you're going to find them.
Search it up
so you can listen to them. There's a little bit more to the story. I say we just roll right through.
Yeah.
I have a few friends that are that she knows and has met on numerous occasions, and to hear her say something like that just set me off. I don't know if she thinks that she's testing me or what in the world made her flip out on this all of a sudden when her friend is in hot water and we have nothing to do with it. But I don't know. Maybe she has a thing for him. I don't know either. I'm just confused and tired and a bit angry, to be real with you, and I just want to ask how I should go about ending things with her, or not, if someone has a better idea than me. But at this point, I'm struggling to understand why she's getting so worked up about someone else's business that isn't our own. And she said that I'm no better than our new STL for agreeing with him. What should I do about her in this situation? I already know, but I'll take whatever advice I can get on how to potentially end things. That's the end of that story.
I broke up with my girlfriend while she was with her other partner.
That's a great reason to break up with her.
For some background, my girlfriend, 28 female, and I, 28 male, have been together for about 6 years. We talked about opening during lockdown, but only started acting on it when it was safe again. By the way, this comes from user perfectpatient121, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Sophia.
And I'm Keon.
And OP says, the first 2 years were basically one-sided, with me not having any success while she kept meeting new people. I had a lot of emotional work to do, but eventually I worked on myself and managed a few flings of my own. I'm sorry, it immediately sounds like you were like, well, I wasn't really enjoying this, but I did some emotional work and got myself to a point where I could.
If we're not into the open marriage, 100% close the door.
Dating became her main social outlet, and she pushed for poly, which created a lot of resentment on my side. To her credit, I kept it to myself, so that's on me, baby.
It is on you.
A year ago, I met an amazing woman, 25 female, through a shared hobby and had an immediate connection. She was just out of a serious relationship, so being a secondary, I hate that term, worked for her until she was ready to start looking for a new mono relationship. I did not expect jealousy from my girlfriend at this new connection. I feel like I've put up with a lot from her constant dating, and the first time I have something more serious, she melts down. About a month ago, my new partner admitted that she'd been interested in going monogamous with me, which I did not give a solid answer to or disclose to my girlfriend. Friday evening, my girlfriend left for a week away with one of her main partners, 33 male. It was planned and happened before, but seeing her leave really broke the emotional dam for me. I don't think I'm made for poly or ethical non-monogamy. I've started moving my things to my parents' home over the weekend and agreed to be monogamous with my new partner. I'm spiraling a bit. Both my parents and my new partner think I should tell my girlfriend and not have to find out when she comes back. I think it's better not to ruin her vacation and to have a clean break afterward. My reasoning is that she won't be alone. She has all her partners to help her out. Also, I'll pay my share of the rent while she looks for a new apartment if she'd rather not keep our current place. What would you rather have me do if you were in my girlfriend's shoes? Relevant comments.
I'm speechless, honestly. This is really dumb. It's like... And you're putting up with it, which is insane.
For 2 years.
I'm just thinking, I'm like, okay, I don't know if...
Like,
it'd be kind of annoying to be on the vacation and then get broken up with while you're trying to enjoy your vacation. But
would
also...
she be able to enjoy it even more?
Maybe.
It's hard to say.
When I got broken up with, it was a week after he met my parents. And I really wish he had said, hey, let's not meet your parents. Let's just break up. That would have been great.
Yeah. Tali Carr, 1981. My ex-spouse told my meta before me that they didn't love me anymore. Honestly, it felt worse than the breakup. Please tell her soon. You've already told everyone else close to you. Your soon-to-be ex should not have been the last to know.
Metamor, or meta, is your partner's other romantic or spicy sleep partner with whom you do not have a romantic or spicy sleep relationship with yourself.
Okay.
So it's the
New
other
term unlocked.
person.
Metamor.
It's the other person that is hanging out with your partner, but you're not hanging out with them.
Sunny says metaphorical boyfriend.
Yeah, metaphor, more like metamorph into a complete stranger who I don't know, please. I would not like to know you. Thank you. OP says, I only told my parents, because I'll be crashing with them, and my new partner. None of our mutuals know. Helpful Battle 4178 replies, not sure if it's right or wrong, but like you, I'd probably wait until she's back from her vacation. Either way, you're going to give her the bad news. Might as well let her enjoy her vacation, or at the very least, prevent her from using that as a justification for further blame. And how often do they call her up, date each other? And then someone named Cat Boogers replies, I mean, beyond the fact that some vacations may include unreliable cell signal or jam-packed days or time zone differences that may make communication difficult to plan for, every relationship is different. I don't talk to one of my partners unless we are together in person or if there are logistics needing sorted. We have our weekly date night and hang out from time to time outside of that night, but we don't call or text just to talk. If I go on vacation, he doesn't expect me to check in with him. We've been together more than a decade, and this works for us. OP has not been voicing his needs to his soon-to-be ex. She should not be expected to read his mind. If he was acting like he was fine, seemed like he was totally accepting of Polly and her other relationships, how the F is she supposed to coddle his emotions? I expect my partner to loop me into their emotional needs. I'm autistic. I refuse to let people guilt me for taking them at their word and not reading their mind. If you need something in a relationship, it is your job to make that need known to your partner. Opie says, yeah, we're both pretty independent people. She sent a text to let me know that they arrived safely, and I'm not expecting us to get in touch more than a good morning, love you text here and there. I agree with your second point. I think I was too defensive in my post, and now people are saying she's harmful or self-absorbed, which couldn't be further from the truth. It's just tricky to voice your insecurities about imbalance as the man in a hetero-open relationship without feeling like you're coming off as whiny, especially since I wasn't really jealous about her having the spicy sleep at all, but rather the mismatch in opportunities, which she can't do much about. And these feelings basically disappeared when I managed my own flings. Until we moved to poly, of course, but I should have really ended things at that point. And there's an edit here. Thanks for the feedback. I'll be home to have the talk with her when she comes back. No point ruining her vacation. I'm also slowing down on the moving stuff out part. I was being dramatic, and we can sort how we want to split some things out. And there's an
I'm
update.
sorry. I still think that's crazy to be moving out and not tell your partner that you're breaking up with them. I feel like that's like, unless there is a safety thing at play, I really feel like you just need to tell her now. Because like, imagine she's like, oh, I've had this great vacation, and then she comes out and you fully moved out.
Yeah.
And that would be like such a blindside. I'd be personally, I hate being blindsided. So just tell me when you're feeling things.
Yeah, it feels like this is the culmination of a lot of stuff you've been feeling for a long time.
Exactly. OP's literal whole problem in this relationship is that he could never tell her how he feels about anything. And he's still doing it. And everyone's like, it's fine. Don't ruin your vacation. Stop letting this guy get away with not communicating ever. There's an update, though.
He does have a literal whole problem. As I said, I slowed down moving my things out to my parents and waited for her to get home to avoid ruining her vacation. She came back Thursday night, the week of the previous post, and I went to meet her at the train station. She had her partner still with her, but I managed to get her home. We had the talk, and this was my biggest breakup to date, so it got a bit emotional on both ends. She basically offered to slow down with her other partners, and then monogamy. I declined and went to sleep at my parents'. There's not much else to say. It wasn't super dramatic in the end. We've spent the past 10 days figuring out the logistics. But as someone who lurked on this sub for a long time, this was my first time confronting the advice given here to a real life situation. If you're thinking of posting here too, keep in mind that there's a lot of noise. People projecting, people who have it out against open relationships and ethical non-monogamy, and also ethical non-monogamous people that are a bit disconnected from the broader monogamous world. And by the way, you can get connected to our world of full episodes of stories like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search OK Storytime, and you can listen to the full archive whenever you want.
So true.
The truest thing you've ever heard.
No lies.
And the truest thing you ever will.
Yeah, OP, my advice to you for your next relationship is use your words. Use your big boy words.
Yeah, that is true. It's like when you get into these situations and you feel stuff, it's like, you know, there was a commenter saying that they're autistic, so they need to be told exactly what to do. I do think in a relationship, like, I don't know, unless you were really, really good at masking this, it'd be pretty clear that there was something wrong. However, that's an assumption. So the only thing you can do is to just actually be like, yeah, this is driving me crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And there is, in any open relationship, you're going to have to deal with the fact that there will always be more opportunities for women than men in the modern dating, online dating era or whatever, which is where a lot of this stuff happens.
Only place we got more opportunities.
No, it's the only place we got more opportunities. That's crazy. Quoting OP, they say, she basically offered to slow down with her other partners, then monogamy, and I declined and went to sleep at my parents. She was offering that to appease you, not necessarily because she actually wanted to. Good move on letting it go. After reading your initial post, the thing that I saw that was concerning was her jealousy when you finally started to see someone, even though she had been seeing several people. I don't think this is how it all works, and that wouldn't have meshed well. You would not have been comfortable. I hope your new relationship is a great one. Excellent sign 4553 says, I don't think this is fair at all. OP didn't want polyamory, but made little efforts to directly communicate. He's avoidant, refused to communicate, and built resentment. He should have sat his partner down way earlier than this and been clear that polyamory was the boundary. To me, her saying she's willing to be mono just shows the stupidity of avoidant communication. She clearly is in some way willing to renegotiate the terms of the relationship. OP just didn't try. I don't get it.
Wrong.
Well, here's what you don't get.
Wrong. That was stupid.
Yeah. I don't even
They're
need to...
both done.
I don't even need to explain why
Break
someone
up.
would
What are you
not
talking
be...
about? That was a stupid comment. They're both
Yeah.
in the wrong, and they both
That's
needed to
crazy.
be out of that relationship.
Saying I don't get it is insane.
That was a bad comment.
You should
Downvote.
get it to some level. You should
Downvote
get it,
Groff
right?
one.
Even if it's not what you would feel, you should be able to understand that maybe someone couldn't come back from that, right? Right? You don't get it? Okay. He built up resentment until he basically couldn't stand her. Grow up. Also, yes, you dating someone hits you very differently than your partner dating someone. He had time to work through his big emotions surrounding new partners. This was her first instance. She too needs practice, building coping skills, etc. This is a brand new position for her to be in. I'm sure she's done a lot of that. Of course, there will be insecurities. OP gave her no time to work these out. I agreed that I'm not the best at communicating.
We all know that, buddy.
But always being the one that has to ask for things to slow down is not fun either. It makes you come off as whiny. And it was the same during that conversation. She didn't say she wanted monogamy. She offered to go monogamous if I wanted, like I'm always the one that has to ruin the fun in the end. Also, she's not harmful or self-absorbed, like some people were claiming in my first post, but she had 1 year since I met my new partner to learn how to deal with jealousy. She was okay-ish when I was just hooking up with random people, but I truly don't think she can handle her primary seriously dating someone else. In the end, though, I think you're right. I should have pumped the brake on Polly a long time ago and just dealt with being the boring, insecure one. My mother has been gaining weight on purpose for her boyfriend.
That's I mean, if you're hungry, eat, but not for anybody else.
Trigger warning here for emotionally harmful / feeder relationship. The problem relates to my 19 female mother, 45 female, and her weight gain over the last year or so. It started sometime last spring or summer, a few months after she had started dating her current boyfriend, Mike. And by the way, this comes from user Throwaway for Life, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Matt.
Prior to that point, she was in decent shape. My mom was always a bit overweight during my childhood and teenage years, but after my parents split up about 2.5 years ago, She started taking better care of herself. We became running and diet partners, and she eventually reached the 130s, although her weight still fluctuated. Sometime around late January of last year, she met Mike. He seemed like a nice enough guy when I met him, and they soon became serious. Mike is the first serious relationship my mom has had since she split with my dad. Things were fine heading into the summer of last year, and then, sometime around my high school graduation in June, she told me that she needed to have an important conversation with me. When we talked, she told me that she was going to be seriously cutting back on our runs. She said that it was because she wanted to put on some weight and become curvier again. Mike had told her that he preferred women who were more curvy, and she wanted to please him. She also said that she wanted to relax for a little while and not worry so much about her weight. I didn't really think that much about it at the time, and I assumed that my mom knew what she was doing. So I just left it at that and didn't really try to discourage her. She seemed content with her decision, and I was happy to see her relationship with Mike going so well. After our conversation, my mom cut her runs with me from 4 to 5 days a week to just 1 to 2 days a week, and she started walking instead of running or jogging. She also stopped being so strict with her diet. She had cut things out like sodas and junk food in order to lose weight, but she started eating and drinking them again. As you can guess, she started to put on some of the weight she had lost. And by the time I went to college last fall, she had probably put on about 15 to 20 pounds, which put her back around what she weighed when she was still with my dad. I wasn't that worried, though. My mom carried the weight well and seemed happy with her decision and her relationship with Mike. I didn't see or speak to my mom that much for the next month until I came home for fall break. That was the first time I had seen her since move-in weekend, and she had put on even more weight. I thought it would be okay if I tried to subtly encourage her to be a little healthier, especially since she had stopped exercising altogether by this point. I tried to get her to go on a run with me over break, but she would just give me an excuse each time, like it's too cold or she's too tired, etc. Or Mike would discourage her. I also couldn't help but notice that her diet had become even worse. It seemed like almost everything she ate now was fast food or some kind of junk food. I suspected that this was mostly Mike's doing since he was always bringing home unhealthy food and avoiding things like fruits and vegetables. Still, I didn't really feel like it was my place to say anything yet, so I left it be. I went back to school and didn't come back home again until Thanksgiving break, but it was more of the same. My mom had gained more weight. I hadn't planned on saying anything, but I got worried after watching her eat over break. Even though I knew it was normal for people to indulge over Thanksgiving, it seemed like she was always eating. I would see Mike constantly bringing her snacks, and Mom would eat it. Even if she said she was full or not hungry, he would make a big fuss until she gave in and ate whatever it was he brought her.
There we go. There's the control again. He's forcing her to do something she doesn't want.
Yeah. I made a point to speak to my mom and told her that I noticed she had still been gaining weight, and it was starting to worry me. I told my mom that if she continued to gain weight, it would have a negative impact on her health. She told me that she had just been enjoying herself and the freedom of not having to worry about her weight and what she was eating. She said that Mike told her that he didn't care if she gained more weight after the first 20 pounds and had actually encouraged her to get bigger and curvier. I asked her why she had decided to stop caring about herself and her weight, and my mom told me that Mike had helped her see that she was always meant to be an overweight woman. She now believed that she looked better if she was larger and said that she planned to gain some more weight. I'm sorry, nobody was meant to be overweight or underweight. We were all meant to be a healthy body weight.
Right, like there is some wiggle room, like I'm a little chubbier than I would like to be, but I'm within a healthy
You're a healthy body weight.
100%. Yeah, I'm trying to lose a little weight just to be a little healthier, but like I'm not in a bad spot right now. And I get like not wanting to body shame people, but I think discounting her daughter's concern about her mother's health is a very bad sign. That she's just fully given up and just fully let Mike take the reins on her life.
Exactly. She's like that thing of like I'm just doing this because I'm relaxing and I don't have to care. It's like, well, you kind of do have to care if you want to care about your health. You have to care to some extent, But it just feels like brainwashing at this point already. It feels like brainwashing. Like Mike convinced you that you're meant to be overweight. That's not the same thing as someone saying, "Oh, it's like I just prefer curvier women." That's not the same thing at all. This is now quickly becoming insidious. Let's keep going. I asked her when she planned to stop, and she said when she got to around 200 pounds. I sort of lost it there. I told her that she was eating herself into passing away and that she needed to eat healthier, be more active, and lose some weight. We had a huge fight, and I wound up leaving to go back to school early. After the Thanksgiving incident, she messaged me and told me that she was an adult and would not be lectured to or controlled by her child. My mom also told me that if I wanted to live in her house, I needed to respect her choices and not interfere with them or her relationship with Mike. I also got an email from Mike, and it said basically the same thing. Respect my relationship with your mother and her choices, or don't come home. He had actually moved into my mom's house by this point. I decided to spend Christmas and New Year's with my dad and his family, and I didn't come home during the spring semester. I just recently finished school and moved back into my mom's house for the summer. I had kept up with her through Facebook and knew she had still been gaining weight, but I didn't realize how big she had gotten until I got home. I would guess she's somewhere around, if not over 200 pounds now. Everything about her is bigger. She doesn't even look like my mom anymore because of how much weight she has gained in her face. She's mostly sedentary now, other than what she does at her office during the day. After she gets home, she sits on the couch and gorges herself. I'm shocked at how much she eats now. Mike is always bringing her food and encouraging her to eat, and she is happy to stuff herself each night until she has a bellyache. My mom will also wake up each night and go into the kitchen to fix herself a snack, which is really just another large meal. They don't even hide the fact that my mom is actively trying to get bigger. Mike has encouraged my mom to buy larger sizes of clothing so that she has room to grow, and she agreed. I have also heard Mike and my mom talk about her trading in her car to get something that will be more comfortable for her as she gets bigger. It is crazy.
I'm wondering, is Mike trying to get OP's mom to be unalived?
I think I've seen some stuff about this, and switch it over. I have seen some stuff about this before where it's like it all comes down to it's like a form of an abusive control relationship where it's like they become big enough to where they're dependent on this person for care. They're like Mike might have like a savior complex, or like, you know, and it's easy to fulfill when it's like you get someone in a position where now they're so big they need you to take care of them.
They literally cannot take care of themselves.
Right. Which is really messed up and needs to be addressed. So I know this is what they both want, but the extra weight is starting to impact her health. She gets out of breath very easily now and complains if she has to do a moderate amount of physical activity. She also has developed minor knee and back problems and is always tired, and I know that this will only get worse if she continues to gain weight. However, she blames these problems on age and on her asthma rather than her weight. It is breaking my heart to see her doing this to herself. I'm so afraid that she's going to pass away young and leave me without my mother if she continues down this path. I've tried bringing up the subject again the other night, even though I knew that Mike and my mom would get upset. I asked her at dinner if we could maybe try to eat less fast food and junk food, and if she could stop trying to actively gain weight, and she got mad. She told me that I was a vain person and that not everyone wanted to be a shapeless rail. Some women wanted to have curves. After that, Mike came into my room and told me that if I said anything else, my mom had agreed with him that I would have to find another place to live for the summer. He also told me that I just needed to accept that my mom is a larger woman and that she will be getting larger. I asked him what he meant and mentioned that she said she would stop at around 200. And he told me that they both had decided that she should keep gaining past that. You need to have a conversation with your mom away from Mike. That is the only situation. Bring this up at dinner with him present, not going to work. He is now her abuser. This is an abusive relationship, and it's emotionally and mentally abusive.
Yeah, I think Mike is going to push to the point where he gets himself added to like care, like agreements or documents where he's like legally in charge of her. He's now legally in charge of the house, legally in charge of her finances.
It could be
take everything. And then at that point,
the ultimate goal is probably make her bedridden.
Yeah.
Become her legal caretaker, her legal guardian, or whatever, and as a partner. And then he has access to then he has full control. And he no longer has to even pretend. At that point, he doesn't have to be nice and he doesn't have to pretend. Now she is fully dependent on him, and that's when it will really, really get bad.
And then he takes everything and runs.
I got angry with him, but was afraid to say more. I don't doubt that they would get me out of my mom's house, and I'm not sure if my mom would try to stop him. I tried contacting my sister about this, but seeing as she lives in another state and doesn't get along with our mom, she doesn't really have anything to say. My dad doesn't want to get involved either since he has a fiancé and his own life. I would speak to some of my mom's friends, but I don't know if that would work. She hasn't had much to do with them since she started dating Mike, so I don't know if they would feel comfortable intervening. I really would appreciate any help or advice. And I want to say something again, but I know how that will end. I guess I'm wondering if it is better to take a final desperate stand or bite my tongue and try to help my mom in a more subtle way. Or should I just accept that my mom is an adult and has to make her own choices and mistakes? The way he makes her eat is disgusting. My mom will sometimes complain she's full or not hungry after a meal, but he'll always insist that she needs to eat dessert. If she says no, he will pout until she feels bad. Then she'll eat it to make him happy. There was an incident last week where he brought home a pie. I was going to cut myself a slice before dinner, but he stopped me and told me it was my mom's. At dinner that night, after we had finished eating, he brings the pie out for her. He cuts 2 big slices and puts them on her plate. My mom then tells me that she is full. Mike just looked at her and told her that she was ungrateful. He said he had gone out of his way to get her favorite pie and that she never appreciated the things he does for her. My mom began to apologize, and she said she was not that full and started to eat the slices. The whole thing was pretty horrifying to experience. I am still deciding what I'm going to do, but I do think that it will depend on what choice gives me the most peace. It would hurt me to lose my mom, whether that is physically or emotionally, but I have a hard time seeing myself being able to just stand by and watch her make decisions that I know she will regret. I also think I wouldn't be a very good daughter if I didn't try everything I could to help her for as long as I can. There are definitely some more subtle things I could do before a final confrontation. If I try everything that people have suggested and it doesn't help, then I would consider being direct. I would hope that either then or someday she would come to her senses. It may cost me my relationship with my mom, but I can accept that if it saves her life. And we have an update.
Ooh.
I think it's probably maybe the friends could do something. I don't know how you would reach out to the friends. I don't think you doing a direct confrontation is going to work because you're her kid.
Yeah.
I think the most you could do is probably like finding some like get on her phone and like pull up a page explaining like this kind of toxic, a relationship, like a feeder relationship. Just try to indirectly, without you being like, here is this stuff. Just put it around her and like see if it just sticks.
I feel like I don't personally, I can't think of how like you could subtly try to help your mom with Mike being there all the time. Like the only thing I could think of is getting the friends involved or maybe calling in a welfare check, something like that. It's really sad to me that the mom is become so dependent and is taking Mike's side on everything over her own children. But I think that could possibly be due to the embarrassment of like, you're my child. You're not going to tell me how to live.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of layers here because it's like you've got that. And then it's like, there may be some, degree of like actual food addiction or like, a pre-existing maybe unhealthy relationship with food, and then he's exploiting it and exacerbating it, and it's like it's just regardless of what label is on it, it's like Mike is an intensely negative impact and influence on OP's mom's life.
I think part of it could also be because after the divorce, maybe the mom just really was maybe getting into shape to find a man, another husband, or another person to fill where her ex-husband was. And then now that she has Mike, she has no reason to really try. And if keeping him means doing this to herself, then I think maybe she's willing to do this to her own body, to forego her relationship with her child, just so she has the satisfaction of having a romantic partner in her life.
Yeah. And just like well, I already got the goal. I did the goal, got the partner.
Yeah.
And I don't have to care anymore. And plus, he even says I can be bigger. So who cares? And it's like, I do. I'm your daughter. I want you to live as long as possible. That'd be great. Let's get into the update. So I read all of the comments that people made in the first post many times, but I was still unsure of whether or not I should say anything and risk being removed from my mom's house. However, I felt like I had to say something after I continued to watch my mom, at Mike's encouragement, overeat. I came to the conclusion that my mom's life and health were too important for me to stand by and say nothing while she slowly unalived herself. I knew that I would stand a better chance to help her if I planned out my strategy ahead of time instead of getting angry and exploding like I've done in the past, which went very poorly. I invited my mom out to eat lunch one day so I could get a chance to speak with her alone. I knew that if Mike were around, that I would have no chance of getting her to listen to me. I printed off some materials about harmful relationships and feeder relationships to give her when our conversation was over. At lunch, I basically repeated what I had told her in the past, that I was concerned about her health because I wanted her to be around for a long time. But I did emphasize that I respected her role as my mother and her ability to make choices for herself as an adult. I told her that I was just concerned and wanted her to have the ability to make informed choices, but ultimately I would respect whatever decision she reached. My mom did not respond to what I said well. She started getting upset, and she got particularly angry about me mentioning feeder relationships. She told me that none of this applied in her case. Mike just liked curvy women. She also accused me of being jealous and insecure about her relationship with Mike, and she said some other hurtful things. She continued to deny that her relationship with Mike was harmful and that her weight was causing her any health problems, even though I think there's no longer any doubt that both are true. When we got back home, she told me that I had 2 days to move out, so I spent the rest of my summer at my dad's house. I didn't see my mom again until 2 weeks ago. I had to go back to her place to pick up the stuff I left there. I can't say that I was surprised to see that she had continued to put on weight. I was surprised to see the state of the house, though. It was an absolute mess. There were all kinds of takeout boxes and food containers all over the place, and it looked like it hadn't been cleaned since I left. I tried to get out as quickly as I could, but before I left, my mom said she wanted to speak with me. She told me that I needed to know that Mike had asked her to marry him, and she had accepted his proposal.
He wants control. He wants the house. He wants her money or whatever assets she might have. He's not in it for her. He is absolutely just in this because she's got something he wants, and when she is to the point where she's too big to care for herself, he's got free reign. He can do whatever he wants. Because I don't hear anything about Mike being this big. I don't hear about anything about him eating this much. So he's fully just trying to take her agency out of the picture. I am in a state of distress listening to this.
Yeah, man. This is like this is genuinely like so far above my pay grade in terms of like what I'm able to like give advice for, like how to navigate this. Like this is I don't even know who to call. I don't know what to do. I think maybe at some level nothing you can really do.
No.
Which is terrible.
I think that's the only thing you can do is maybe a welfare check. I don't know if OP knows that you can.
But I mean, like, if somebody shows up, her mom's gonna be like, "What do you mean welfare? Yeah, I'm great. I'm doing exactly what I want to do." I mean, that's how insidious and nefarious this guy is being. He's got her wrapped up in that idea that it's like, oh, I'm meant to just be bigger, and I'm gonna just keep getting bigger and bigger because Mike, my partner, wants it. And it's like, clearly, you know, I mean, if she was in a vulnerable place when they got together, for sure.
Yeah. If the house is really as dirty and messy as OP claims it is to be, at some point it's going to become a public nuisance, and at which point I think OP could probably call it in that, like, hey, I need a welfare check. This is becoming a mess, a public nuisance. It's a health worry for my mother. Like, I don't know if she's okay, if they're taking up the trash, if she's alive, if there's bugs and rats and rodents and all these other things. Yeah. There's mold growing. Like,
You could do that, but then at that point, it's like, yeah. So it's like kind of too late at that point. Whew. Okay. Well, my mom told me I needed to know that Mike had asked her to marry him and that she had accepted his proposal. The wedding would be taking place soon, and I was invited to come if I apologized to the two of them for my behavior. She then informed me that they were looking to move to Oregon. Mike has family out there, and since my mom has no close friends or family here anymore, mostly because of Mike, she thought it would be a good move to start over.
Oh, good God.
Just furthering the isolation.
Yeah,
honestly, I don't know if this is the only thing I can think of. I think you do apologize just so that you can go to the wedding and then blow it up and be like, they shouldn't be marrying. This guy's an abuser. Like, blah, blah. Like, I don't care. Like, blow up their wedding. I don't know if that's more of a positive or more of a negative thing to do. I don't know if that's going to make things better or worse. But I don't even know who's going to be at the wedding.
I think maybe for OP's own sanity, it might be the move to go to the wedding and give one final shot. It's not going to work because I don't think that the mom wants it to work. But I think for OP's own sanity to say, hey, I gave everything I could. I did everything I could to try to save my mom and she just would not be saved. I think maybe OP has to do it.
Yeah.
I think that after that, if you do it though, know that your mom is never going to want to talk to you again. And in a couple months, she's just not going to be there anymore. Because if she's gone with Mike's family in Oregon, she's not lasting very much longer. I don't think. I think that's the end for her if she leaves, unfortunately. This is...
Oh, man.
Like, this is very calculated on Mike's part. I wonder how many times he's done it before.
Scary how calculated it is. Like,
he had a timeline.
Disturbing how calculated this is on his part.
Absolutely had a plan, a timeline, a methodology. I wonder if he's known people who've done it or if this is not the first time he's done it.
I would probably guess it's not the first time. I'm going back into the story a little bit to see when okay. It doesn't say. Okay, I was seeing who divorced who. It doesn't say exactly.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that she was the one who was broken up with.
Because she has the devastation response there.
Right, because it's like just everything about finding this other guy and sort of not being able to say no or think for yourself because it's probably like the fear of losing him again, like losing your partner again. Like, man, she was worth so much more than this dude. Let's finish this story. So she thought it would be a good move to start over. I didn't really know what to say, so I just told her I was glad she was happy. And by the way, it makes me happy whenever you listen to full episodes of stories like this on your favorite podcast platform. All you got to do is search OK Storytime wherever you listen to podcasts, and you can listen to the full archive. 71 plus days worth of stories. I honestly don't know what, if anything, I can do. I want to believe that there's something else I can do, but I have no idea what that would be. I hope that she'll eventually realize what Mike is doing and will ask for help. I don't think I can attend the wedding. It would feel like I was giving my approval to the relationship, and it would feel wrong. I realize that it's probably going to cause further damage to our relationship, but I have to live with my choices too. At some point, you have to let people make their own choices and mistakes, even when it breaks your heart to watch. Even though things didn't turn out well, at least we tried. That is the end of that story. And I think that is accurate. You've done pretty much all you can. At that point, it's just really unfortunate. You got to just hold on to hope that one day she will see the light and open her eyes.
It's just a very sad story.
Yeah.
Because OP is doing everything that she can to save her mom. And the mom just doesn't want to be saved. The mom felt like she was saved by Mike and doesn't want to be saved from being saved.
Yes.
She doesn't want to make her own decision. She doesn't want to have to deal with the consequences. With Mike, it's easy. Mike tells her what to do, and she does it.
Well, it's got to be. It's some level of, like, mental illness and exploitation, and it's like this guy, Mike, it's like, I would make the, like, comparison of, like, there's, the parasitic wasp.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like where it lays its egg in like another creature, and it's like, how does the wasp know how to do that? It's just like it just knows which ones are the right ones. Mike knew instinctively, like after meeting OP's mom, like, oh, okay, this is someone that I could sink my hooks into. This is someone I could manipulate and slowly get to that point where I have absolute control. And I'm moving her out from, nobody's going to know where we're moving. It's just going to be me and my family, and she will have no say or no ability to do anything for herself. And it's just like awful. And I hate that that's the end of that story.
My boyfriend's dog is disgusting, and he's not doing anything about it.
Wash your dog.
I've 28 female, have been with my boyfriend 28 male for 4 years. He got a boxer dog about a month into our relationship. He is a very sweet and obedient dog, but my boyfriend doesn't take care of him very well. He's not neutered. He doesn't get any flea and tick medications. He doesn't get worming tablets. He does not go to the vets, and I highly doubt he gets his vaccines. He also gets cheap supermarket food that gives him runny poos.
Ew.
Yeah, don't you like have to get that stuff though? You gotta get your shots and stuff.
Yeah.
By the way, this comes from Tomato2397. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, I, on the other hand, don't have a dog, but I did grow up with a little Maltese family dog who was very spoiled by my family. All his monthly worming and flea and tick medications were always up to date. I showered him every week, brushed him every night, etc., etc. My partner does not take his dog on daily walks and swims at a nearby lake every single day, rain, hail, or shine, just so he gets his needed exercise. He's also very well trained, and my partner loves teaching him new tricks to keep his brain going. Overall, I don't think my partner has any ill intent. He loves his dog immensely. I feel that he just doesn't realize that you have to do more than taking him on daily walks.
Then he shouldn't have a dog. Genuinely, if you don't know what goes into taking care of a dog, you shouldn't have a dog.
Yeah.
It goes into like any sort of pet care. If you don't know like everything that's entailed into taking care of a pet, you should not have a pet.
Yeah.
I think it's like point blank period.
Hygiene and health-wise, my partner treats his dog the complete opposite of how I think a dog should be taken care of, and I don't know how to get him to change his ways. I've told him numerous times to get him neutered, as it's a legal requirement, but he freaks out and says, "No, I'm not cutting his wiener off." I've tried and tried to tell him that he needs to be having his medications, but he is insistent that the best way to prevent fleas and ticks is by taking him swimming at the beach. My biggest hate is the fact that he never even bathes the dog. He thinks that him swimming in the lake washes away all his dirtiness, but it really doesn't. He absolutely smells foul. No exaggeration, he smells like a farm animal.
Oh,
Yeah, I feel like
that's not too bad.
That's pretty bad.
I feel like taking him in the lake is like reason to wash him.
Yeah, like you would want to wash off the lake water.
Yeah. To make it worse, he lets him sleep on his own bed. We don't live together, but I do go over and stay the night sometimes, and his room and sheets just smell like a farm and like a dirty dog.
I literally wouldn't stay over.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Because I doubt this man washes his sheets consistently if this is how he treats his dog.
He's like, it's fine. I don't need to do that. It makes my skin crawl, and I can't go to sleep because I'm so grossed out. And edit, my partner is otherwise a pretty clean person. His place is always clean and tidy. He showers twice a day. He washes his sheets twice a month, but as the dog sleeps on it every night, I find it starts smelling soon after it's washed.
Okay, so he does wash his sheets.
Yeah, but only twice a month.
Twice a month. It's not awful.
It's not awful, but with the
with
dog,
the dog,
it
it's
is
pretty bad.
Yeah, I feel like normally if you are just sleeping in your sheets and you're generally clean, I feel like twice a month isn't that bad.
Like it should be closer to 3 to 4 times a month, you know.
Yeah.
Twice a month is fine.
But with the
not
dog,
with this.
you should probably do it faster.
Yeah.
I guess it's similar to how people can't smell their own houses because they're just used to the smell. I fear my boyfriend doesn't realize his room reeks either.
Girl, tell him.
Yeah. And with him not knowing any different and seemingly set in his own ways, it feels like a losing battle. The dog is not allowed to come to my apartment, but my boyfriend doesn't know that it's because of how gross he is that I don't want him over. It might be an ignorant way of thinking, but I fear that as he's not medicated against fleas, ticks, worms, etc., that he will end up bringing it to my carpet and furniture. I'm itchy just thinking about it. My partner thinks his dog is not allowed over solely because it's a small apartment and he doesn't have enough room to run around. Partially true. Trust me when I say I have tried endlessly over the years to get him to change his ways, but it feels like a losing battle to the point where I just don't see the point in trying anymore. He will either go off at me or act like I'm being mean to him. I also think that because we don't live together and it's technically his dog, he feels like I don't have a right to be telling him how to treat him. We're now starting to talk about getting an apartment together, and I just can't imagine living with his dog in his current state. I feel guilty for not even wanting to pat the dog because he really is so sweet, but he's just dirty. I also don't know how to get my partner to realize how crap of an owner he is. How do I open a conversation up with him without getting him upset or going off at me and to actually take me seriously. I don't expect him to choose between me or the dog. I just want him to actually care for him properly, look after him without me having to do it all. And there's a bit of an edit. Thank you for all your comments. I'm glad to see I'm not being dramatic. And most of you are right in saying I don't hate the dog. As I said earlier, he is the sweetest thing. I just wouldn't go out of my way to pat or snuggle with him, which is how I grew up showing love to my family dog. I do agree that I really should be doing more to stop the neglect. I just feel so powerless in this situation. While I've been a part of the dog's life his whole life, I feel like my partner has never really seen me as his owner, therefore doesn't think I have any say in how he should be treated. And there are some comments, but yeah, if she's already tried, I mean, what else is there for her to do?
It doesn't feel like she has had a full-on conversation because she's asking, how do I start that conversation?
Yeah.
So I feel like that full-on conversation hasn't happened quite yet.
I think we need more details because she says that she has tried endlessly over the years, but she didn't really say what she was doing.
What she's tried, yeah.
Yeah, and then she also mentioned without me just doing it and taking care of it myself. I'm guessing, filling in the blanks, I could be wrong, but maybe she would give up and just try to clean him herself.
Yeah.
But then it's okay, but it's
his dog.
I shouldn't be the one having to do this.
I think you just literally say, hey, let's sit down and talk about this. I'm sure you've had other hard conversations with your partner because that's what relationships are about.
Sure.
You sit them down and you say, hey, I grew up having dogs. I know how to take care of dogs. There are kind of a couple things that you need to do as a dog owner, and that includes this, this, and this.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit concerning that I haven't seen you do that with your dog. And I really love your dog, but it's not good for him to not be clean and not have shots and kind of go through all of that stuff and maybe show him research about this. Show him what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. There are some comments. Comment number 1 says, if your boyfriend made it to the age of 28 believing getting a male dog neutered means cutting his wiener off, I fear there are bigger issues at play here. Yeah, I agree. His dog absolutely deserves better. However, I disagree with your titling here. Your boyfriend's dog is, assuming what you've written is true, neglected, and that neglect is causing the dog to experience things you find disgusting. The dog can't take himself to the vet or buy different food or bathe himself. That is a boyfriend problem, not a dog problem. Someone else responds that the dog isn't disgusting, your boyfriend is. Okay, I mean, I don't think that's a huge deal, but sure. Comment number 2 says, I don't know what your long-term plan is here, but I for sure couldn't live with or raise a family with someone who doesn't see the value in basic hygiene for their pet and by extension themselves. Really think about what this looks like in 5 years before you move in together or really even spend more time with him. You deserve to find someone who matches your energy and treats you and their pets well. And there is an update. But yeah, I think those comments are pretty
agree.
Pretty good.
It's concerning.
Very concerning.
Is he just gonna throw your kid in the lake? Oh, he's clean.
Be he went into water.
He just puts him outside when it rains.
Yeah, literally.
He's fine.
It's free shower. Yeah. Free shower.
Our water bill's too high.
But there is an update. So I sat down with my boyfriend this morning to open up about the issues I've been having regarding his neglect towards his dog. Yeah, he became quite defensive and adamant that he was not neglecting his dog. I even threatened to break up with him if he didn't change. He brushed off a lot of my points saying I'm overreacting, blah, blah, blah. So I took the easiest way out and just showed him this Reddit post itself. Not sure what went through my head, but I wasn't sure what else to say. He surprisingly went through all 400 plus comments.
Dang.
Apparently having 400 plus people call him out and say the exact same things that I've been saying seems to have gotten the message across to him.
Good.
I think
usually comments would make me change my mind about a few things, but I've had hundreds of thousands of comments at this point.
Yeah, I think
they
you're
don't bother me.
I think you have more comments than just one Reddit post.
Yeah,
I would say. I think his ego is very bruised that I've been right all along, and I'm sure he's also very embarrassed. But things are looking somewhat promising. We've gone to the pet shop this afternoon after work and purchased some dog shampoo, dog wipes, and some pet cologne, and he's given the dog a big bath this evening. Sheets have been washed, and the dog now has a few special blankets to lie on when he's on the bed, which we've agreed to change every other day. Unsure if this will do anything, but it's better than nothing. And yeah, there's a little bit more to the story.
Seems much better than nothing.
Yeah,
I guess he hasn't done all of the shots and all of the neutering and such.
Sure.
But we've washed the dog, and that's a step.
That's a big step,
That's
honestly.
a big step.
From never washing the dog and taking him to the lake every day.
I've pet a dog that was really sweet, but really, really stinky.
Yeah.
And it's so sad because I love petting dogs.
Right.
And this was the type of dog, type of stinking that you touch him
Yeah.
And your hand just smells.
No.
And you're like, I can't. And the dog was so friendly, and you're like, no, don't touch me.
Oh,
I
so
love you,
sad.
but you're so stinky.
Yeah, because it's like, it's one thing for the dog to be like dirty because of literal just dirt.
Yeah.
But it's another thing to have like
stinky,
like lake water on you. It's like that is already stinky in itself. But then when it sits, dude, not gonna be good. He's done some research on worming and flea prevention and all the different kinds out there. We have plans to go to the pet shop this week to buy whatever worming/flea medications he decides to give him. I have agreed to pay half for a higher end dog food for the dog, which I'm happy to do as if it means no more running poos. He's also been researching about the benefits of pet neutering, and I think he has realized that it does not in fact mean cutting off his wiener. I was wrong in my original post, as apparently it's not a legal requirement in our area to get pets neutered. I'm unsure if he will go through with it or not, but at least he's a bit more informed in making that decision. Overall, I think things are looking somewhat promising and appropriate changes are starting to be made. I'm sure that I'll have to remind him about bathing the dog, medications, etc. over the next few months, but I have my fingers crossed that he will learn eventually. We're taking baby steps. And that is the end of that story.
My boyfriend said his exes are crazy. So I did some research.
Smart girl right there.
My boyfriend, 31 male, is great and kind to me, 31 female. We are extremely alike, but we make our difference work in our favor. I love him. We've made plans to marry in the next 4 or so years, depending on how life and jobs go. It is basically a promise to visit the option to marry one day. And it has allowed us to start saving since a big wedding is what we would both want. By the way, this comes from user Wartworth. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I have a son from a previous marriage, and he is just great to my son. They have a sort of friend relationship since my ex-husband is an active father and we have joint custody. The problem is that, and I just recently found out about this through conversations with him, his family, friends, and just the way he acts when we see them out in public, he says all his exes, every single one of them, is crazy. There's about 10 that I know of, and that is weird to me. My ex-husband and I don't exactly have the most ideal relationship. We won't ever be best friends, but I wouldn't call him crazy. And I feel the same about my other exes. I'm never going to be friends with them. They are exes for a reason, but none of them are bad people, really, excluding one that includes a very long story I won't get into here. And I wouldn't call them crazy. If I see them out and about, I always at least try to wave or say hi, even if I don't really want to see them. It's just polite, I think, to acknowledge them. And I know it's awkward for both parties sometimes, but I think dodging them and running away would be more awkward. I mean, we're in our 30s. I actually have a professional relationship with one of them, so he emails me work-related stuff once a month, and we are always cordial and professional. And one is a chef at this restaurant I love, and I'd never avoid it just to never see him. We just smile and nod at each other if he happens to be there. They get the same treatment I'd give just about anyone. My ex, though, apparently dodges them, runs, and does everything in his power never to have to speak to or remember or be reminded of any of his exes ever again. He says he blocks them on everything, which he showed me one day when we were having a debate about it. It was about 20 names. I didn't really have time to count. All females, all blocked. They are all exes and dates that didn't work out. That's the default for him. Now, people have crazy exes. I get it. I have one of them, but 20? No one has 20 crazy exes or dates, unless you are really, really bad at choosing your mates/dates. Or you're the crazy one. I recently ran into one of his ex-girlfriends in a coffee shop. I didn't know her, but she knew me because we have mutual friends. She seemed nice, so I was polite and we got to talking about my boyfriend. Just normal, how is he kind of stuff. I couldn't help but ask her how he treated her while they were together, and her response bothered me. She said that they were inseparable for years. They had plans to marry and have children, then they split. Like she went to stay at her friend's house since he had to work and she didn't want to be alone, and he took what little stuff he had at her apartment and just split.
I found the common denominator. It's
Ooh.
him.
That's like the craziest way to do it too.
He's probably did that for all 20.
Just
and
like,
then he just blocks them so they can't say anything or contact him or find out what happened.
what if he has kids with all 22? That would be the wildest plot twist. He never talked to her again. He blocked her on everything, just ran for it, and never checked on her again. I thought, maybe she's being dramatic. Everyone has a side to the story, but her friend who was there that day happens to be my friend too, and I asked her, and she confirmed all the tears and unanswered texts and how he said he would pick her up and didn't. It left a bad taste in my mouth, but I asked him because I wanted to know his side. He says, like he does about everyone he's ever dated, that she was crazy and he had to leave, no choice. Quote, she would have stalked me. The thing is that it's the same thing he says about every girl he's ever dated. My grandmother, my light of rationality and truth, told me that I'm probably going to end up as the crazy ex when and if he and I break up, because you can tell a lot about a person by the way they treat the people they no longer love. But she is very old school. She dated maybe 3 people her whole life. I just suddenly have a bad feeling. He treats his exes badly. He talks about them badly. He runs from them in public. And they can't all be crazy. 20 women are not trying to track him down in town. He is cute, but no one is that cute. I have a kid and a career, and I'm in my 30s. I am way too boring and exhausted to be the crazy ex, but I think he might make me into one in his head if we ever split, and it just seems disrespectful to me. Yeah, of course. Of course it is.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You automatically have 20 girls that are like, she's not crazy.
Yeah, I mean...
And that's probably a lot for a small town if you're in a small town.
Yeah, try that in a small town. What is that song about? I can't even remember. I need some perspective because I'm over-empathetic and extremely sensitive to the feelings of others. I asked my ex-husband if he had more than one crazy ex, and he said he didn't have any. But if he did, that is the sort of mistake you only make once. I'm not sure I want to be with someone who continually keeps making that mistake. And if he is lying about them, I don't want to be with someone who disrespects people like that. I don't even know how to begin a conversation with him about this. How do I start? Is it normal to have that many crazy exes? There is an update, but I would say no unless you're literally dating Ramona Flowers. Straight up.
Yeah,
even all of them weren't
too
crazy. Some of them
many.
were chill.
Yeah. And there also weren't 20.
And I bet if you talk to all these girls, they'd all say the exact same thing. Like, he just went away for work. I stayed with someone, he dipped. Or, like, he dipped in the middle of the night.
20
Blocked
is
me,
crazy.
never heard from him again.
The fact that he's not even cordial with one of them.
Go on that, what's that Facebook group?
Oh, the do I date or whatever? The date
Should
checker?
I date him or something? I can't remember what it is.
I think
have
every
you
town-
dated this man or something?
Every town
I
has,
bet he's all
has one,
over
right?
it.
Yeah, I think, how do you have a conversation about this?
Are we dating the same man?
I think, like, I don't know, you just go, I met your ex. She's not crazy.
Yeah, you say, hey, I ran into so-and-so. Why
having-
did you,
yeah.
what did she do exactly that you had to dip in the middle of the night?
I get. Wait,
Can
I
you-
guess she already did though, because
Can you actually name one of the crazy things that they did?
Be like, I want a
Yeah,
list. I
that's
want
good.
name and then why she's crazy. Like,
yeah, even just for one of them. One thing for one of them. And I bet he has nothing.
I mean, is he like this in any other elements of his life, like with his jobs or something? Like, I feel like that's the most common one. Is it's like someone is like always like, yeah, well, I had to get a new job because it's like my manager was like totally the worst, or like my
Oh,
coworker,
yeah,
I
is he
couldn't
doing it for
stand my
jobs, too?
coworkers.
I feel like those people, though, usually like pick a topic. Like it's like dating or jobs.
Yeah,
If he's doing
they pick
both,
a lane. He's
Tell him to
overachieving.
Stay back in his lane, but he's doing too much.
Yeah. Okay, we got an update. I just wanted to give an update since I was still getting comments. I had a lot of good advice in the comments. Thank you. Basically, I should have listened to my grandmother. I sat down with my boyfriend last night and we talked. It has been 2 years, but I feel like I barely know him, the real him that other people get to know. I asked about his exes, and I did this because how he treats people matters to me, and it should to anyone. How he treats his exes and just people in general is the exact way I can expect him to treat me when he no longer has any use for me. The talk was long. The talk was hard. The talk needed to happen if I'm going to marry this man and if I'm going to continue to let him have a relationship with my son. He has a history of running and always has. That's how he deals with problems, and his default is to avoid actually having a conversation about hard things with people because he wants to spare them feelings. But really what he's saying is that he just doesn't want to have to deal with having an impact on their feelings. It is cowardly, unkind, and isn't something I desire in a partner. Although he tried to tell me I was different than all those other girls. He needs therapy, obviously, so I told him that we're breaking up and no longer together, but I'd give him time to find a place to move. I own the house. He was free to crash in the guest bedroom or office if that's what he wanted. I told him that he needed to take a break from women and work on himself. He said he loved me and wanted to be with me. He tried to claim his ex was lying. He claimed a lot of those girls were one-night stands. Maybe a few, but I know one or two who he mentioned as one-nights that were long-term relationships. I was done hearing him talk badly about people while telling me he was a good person. So I ended it. He promised to change, and I told him I'd love to see that in him, but I'm not waiting around for it. I care about him as a person, and I want him to go and learn better ways to treat people. But I can't be his partner. Not with how he treats people. I can't love someone like that. I didn't block him, I didn't run away or change the locks and never speak to him again. I even gave him a hug and asked him how he was doing because he was crying. I gave him more kindness than he ever offered any of those women. He asked me to give him a chance to get therapy and get better and apologize to his ex-fiancée. I told him that if he went to therapy and apologized to her and to some of the others, then he and I could talk, but he couldn't keep treating people like that, not if he ever wanted respect. Basically, we were going to take a soft break, but not really break up so he could work on those things. I don't know about that.
It's just breaking up. You're still just breaking up.
I think you need to break up just because if you add that caveat to this situation, you won't know if he's actually changing or if he's just changing to reach the finish line,
right,
which is you getting back together with him, and then he can just completely not care about that ever again. I even held his hand for a little bit after it was all over and wished him well. And by the way, I wish you would listen to full episodes with stories just like this on your favorite podcast platform, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is. Just search OK Storytime, and you can listen to our entire archive, which is over 70 days worth of stories. We do have a little bit more story left, but do we have any closing thoughts? I think we've done the right thing. You've broken up.
Surly Sunshine says he wants to be the one to end it and run away.
Yeah, it sounds like. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's
you're probably
the guy.
first one. You're probably the first one to break up with him or take a
Which
break.
I feel like he's going to have some crazy crash out, and anything that he said those girls were doing, he's going to do to you. So prepare to be stalked.
Ooh, yeah. I would get ready for the crazy. If he says
Or-
everyone's crazy and not him,
He's crazy.
he's gonna let the crazy out.
Or once he gets back, like I guess back on his feet, he's gonna be like, she's crazy. You're crazy, OP.
Well, she'll be deemed as crazy either way, but I think that he'll go a little bit crazy on her.
Yeah, I think
Oh.
it's just time to don't make it I don't like the soft breakup. It should just be break up, don't talk to him, don't listen to what he has to say. Just time to move on. Your grandma was right,
Yeah.
and you're doing the right thing.
Because you don't know how long it's gonna take. You're like, I'll wait for you. You don't want to do that.
You're leaving the
Yeah.
door cracked for him. He asked if he could still pick up my son after camp and take him out like they had planned. I agreed that I thought that was a good idea. While I was at work this morning, he moved a lot of his stuff out of my house and unfollowed me on all social media. I checked up on him and all my calls went right to voicemail. He never picked my son up from camp. I'm pretty sure he did what he always does.
I'm shocked.
What do you know? And that's the end of the story.
My girlfriend is obsessed with this new family she just met.
At least she has a family now.
I figured I should ask for advice because this situation is really weird and I have no idea how to handle it. My girlfriend Maggie and I have been together for just 3 months, so our relationship is still very new. Things have been going well aside from this problem. By the way, this comes from Ardenerk, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. A few weeks ago, Maggie started a new job and quickly became friends with her new coworker, Joe. For the record, I have no problem with Maggie having male friends. I have female friends, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But Maggie and Joe seemed unusually close after a very short amount of time. Maggie was telling me that she was scoping out her coworkers to see who was all business and who she could joke around with and maybe become better friends with. She said it would be pretty easy, though, because Joe was telling her who was cool. But Maggie barely knows Joe. So why does she trust him so much?
Sometimes when someone gives you some dignity or delicious donuts or some definite good times, you get a lot of trust out of them.
I'd only trust him if his last name was Jonas.
Maggie and Joe were hanging out so much outside of work that I actually did feel a little weird about it. I then found out that aside from work, they usually hung out with Joe's wife and kids, which made cheating unlikely, but was still really weird. Opie just wants to be included.
Yeah, now I'm confused.
Opie's like, she's hanging out with Joe and his family, and I want to hang out with her.
The next thing I would ask is, what's this girl's name? Just Opie's girlfriend? Maggie. Does Maggie have a family? Was she raised an orphan?
Yeah. Is this like a while you were sleeping kind of situation?
Oh,
I love that movie.
Jinx gonna be a Coke.
Dang. Or it could also be a Dear Evan Hansen situation.
Oh no, not that one. I know that one.
That would be a lot worse.
Yeah, don't say that.
Yeah. Hopefully it's while you're sleeping.
Hopefully sad now.
Hopefully Maggie is Sandra Bullock.
I'm sad now and you're responsible.
Most people don't have near strangers hanging out with their little kids that much. Maggie has been putting this family above other friends. For example, she waited on RSVPing to a friend's party until she could nail down other plans with Joe and his family. The plans with Joe's family were very vague and haven't been decided yet, but Maggie was willing to miss her friend's party if it was the only time Joe's family was available.
How does Joe feel about this?
Yeah, is Joe like, I love this girl, she's my sibling basically?
Wait, are they a pineapple couple?
Hopefully not for OP's sake. I met them for the first time, and it was very bizarre. Maggie isn't a big fan of kids. Oh, but she was all over Joe's kid. Well, sometimes there are people that aren't kid people, but they have those that one or a couple kids that they're like, yeah, these kids are cool. Sometimes that happens.
It's the same thing with like the dad's like, I don't want a dog.
Yeah,
and then they're best
you
friends
find
with the
that
dog.
one. She got down on the floor.
Yeah, that's me with cats.
It's my mom with babies. She loved us. She's like, the only kids I like are my own kids.
Really?
I would hope so. She liked you guys.
Yeah. She got down on the floor and crawled around with the baby. The older kid was very shy and didn't seem that comfortable with me, but she got very excited when she saw Maggie and climbed into Maggie's lap.
Okay, maybe Maggie's trying to get into the babysitting business.
I honestly don't. I feel like this is kind of okay. Unless OP feels like he's being excluded or feels like she's not spending enough time with him.
Okay.
Which is that needs to be addressed. But I feel like she's just hanging out with this family that she really bonded with. I don't know. So far, I'm like, this is not really an issue. So Maggie has obviously spent a lot of time with the family in the past few weeks. The older kids called Maggie Auntie. Maggie once told me she didn't like babysitting and always tries to get out of it, but apparently she has babysat for them and she refuses to take money for babysitting. Maybe she just likes these kids. It's not that crazy.
There goes my theory out the window.
This is just so out of character for her. They also make weird jokes about Maggie coming to live in their basement. They just like Maggie and Maggie likes them. I honestly don't see anything wrong. They just love each other as a family.
Were you raised as an orphan?
No. I had loving parents.
Okay, everyone, let's get a poll up. Is this weird or not?
I think it's
everyone's
weird.
saying it's weird. I need more context.
Okay.
I think it's kind of weird.
I think it's okay.
I think it's weird. I don't like it.
Which was really weird in combination with everything else that's going on. Hopefully that was just a joke. For Thanksgiving, we decided to just celebrate with our own families because we haven't been together that long. Joe and his family weren't able to travel far to meet their own family, so Maggie invited them to her parents' house. That's very kind, but it was a couple of hours away and they all slept over, so it wasn't a casual trip. Yeah, I mean, they're not casual friends. Some pictures were taken, including a posed one of Maggie and Joe's family, with the older kid hugging Maggie's shoulders. Maggie made a comment about how she was glad her chosen family could come to Thanksgiving. That's not that crazy. These are her chosen family. What's wrong with that?
Like, some people have mentors that they're not really close with, and then they kind of have a close relationship. Maybe you can have a mentor, but in a family aspect, and that's kind of your...
So.
Yeah.
It is beyond bizarre. She barely knows these people. I feel like that's unfair to say. She's been hanging out with them so much, and the kids call her auntie. Kids don't just call a random lady auntie. Like that, like they're friends. They're close friends. She doesn't barely know them. She has been in the job just under 2 months and somehow become absorbed into this random family. It feels like OP is so jealous.
Yeah.
This isn't that crazy.
I can give you a family.
Also, this is so out of character. She told me once that she hates it when people she doesn't know, insist insist on hugging her or how cheaply some people say I love you. But she's taking this up to 11. She's fretting right now because the oldest kid's birthday is coming and Maggie apparently needs to get that kid a gift. A Christmas gift. And a Christmas gift for the baby, too. The only gift I've ever gotten a coworker's kid is when they had a baby shower at work.
Okay, what's the poll saying right now?
Most people are saying not weird, which is...
What?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I feel like she's just has this like really cute bond with this family.
Yeah, okay.
It's not like she's cheating. It's not like, you know, there anything really weird is going on.
Nothing like spicy is...
No. Literally, she's hanging out with these kids and their parents, and she feels like she's found this family.
Yeah.
I don't think anything's wrong.
Yeah, okay. I just want to know...
It's not culty.
Has she said why? She just likes to hang out?
She just likes him.
Okay.
They're just very nice people.
Nina Nelson says this isn't about a coworker. They're friends now. That's what I keep. Yeah, it's like OP keeps saying she doesn't even know them. She doesn't even know. Like, they're obviously friends now.
Yeah, you can be friends with someone pretty quick.
I agree. I don't even know how to bring this up. I know her friendships aren't really my business, but this is so strange. It's making me uncomfortable. Why? So I feel like I have to say something, but I don't even know what to say. Maggie cheating on me with Joe would actually make more sense than this? Any advice? This isn't normal, right? I literally, like, you are overthinking this, OP, unless, like, something crazy comes out. But, like, truly, you're overthinking this.
I know, like, Reddit is about to, like, be on the, say this is so weird, this is what's going on.
I hope not.
Yeah, I know for a fact they are. They definitely are.
Dude, my advice to you, that is good advice, and don't listen to anyone else on Reddit who's saying otherwise. Go meet the family.
Bingo, you took the words right out of my
Go
mouth.
meet them. If you're like, who are these people?
Because they're probably, they're probably as lovely as... If you think your girlfriend is lovely,
really lovely people,
and you appreciate her company and her thoughts and, you know, presence on her take on things, then you probably will love her take on this family.
Yeah, I really think that you, like, truly, there's nothing that you could say that doesn't sound weird from you. Unless it's, okay, I would love to meet them. You talk so much about them.
If they were like, I'm changing my last name to theirs.
That would be weird.
Okay.
But
That would
them
be
joking
weird.
about her living in their basement is obviously a joke because she spends a lot of time with them. That's it.
Yeah.
Comment 1 says, like, I've made a lot of jokes about certain friends. Like, I'm like, you should move into my closet. You should move into the spare bedroom. That's a joke. They're not going to move
I'm
going
gonna
to
keep ya.
I'm going to keep ya. Comment 1, I've got 2 theories on this. Number 1, Maggie has a bad home life and is inserting herself into this family because it's the life she wishes she had.
My theory.
However, yeah, what was your theory?
Oh, that.
Oh, I think that's possible, but I don't like the word inserting because it sounds like she's unwanted. She's not inserting. They've welcomed her.
Yeah.
2, Maggie is into Joe. I knew a girl who befriended a married couple just so that when things went bad, she would swoop in and take the husband. That seems like a reach. No one saw it coming, but it happened. It was like her master plan after 2 years of waiting. Comment 2 says, honestly, this is probably her character and not out of character like you say. You even said that you guys have been dating for 3 months.
Oh my.
3 months?
Wait.
I'm
OP.
sorry, you've been dating for 3 months and you think you know everything about her character?
It's been like a year or so.
I thought so. Because he's like
What?
so involved. He's like, this is so unlike her. You've been dating for 3 months.
Have you been friends for longer than that, or you guys just
Maybe.
known each other for like 4 or 3 months?
This guy's jelly.
They've been dating for 3 months. She's known this family for 2. He's only been a month longer here.
Yeah.
OP's jelly.
Yeah.
He's jelly of the
absolutely.
time. That's
It's
what it
so
is.
obvious. 3 months is the first milestone to make a decision about moving the relationship forward or not. So you have a responsibility here to objectively assess your relationship. One thought that crossed my mind would be Joe's family would love for her to live in their basement as a childcare provider, so they may be taking advantage of her for their benefit. Your girlfriend may be trying to show off in front of you to show that she is lovable and respected by people. Many possibilities. I would advise you cool down the relationship. Give her space to make decisions about her life and relationship. If she actively chooses to spend more and more time with Joe's family, you have your answer. 3 months is time to decide the future of the relationship, like I said previously. Good luck. Remind yourself what you deserve in a girlfriend better than this. What do you mean better than this?
I knew Reddit was going to feel this way.
I'm sorry, we have literally zero proof that she is neglecting OP. We've heard that she, like, you know, is not going to friends things because she wants to hang out with Joe and his family. But we have no proof that OP said, you know, she's never hanging out with me. She never wants to see me. She's always with Joe and his family. Zero.
2 takes.
So
1.
what are you? Yeah.
2 takes. 1. If John and Sam were doing this, they would have a very different conclusion than we would. 2. I think
I
this
don't know if
guy
Sam would.
I feel like if it was like two different people than us, they might have like different thoughts on it.
Gotcha.
Two, it sounds like OP kind of, maybe the comments maybe feel this way, maybe he isn't this way, but he's kind of feeling a little controlling
I agree.
or trying to sway how she moves outside of their relationship.
Well, he wants to he's like, yeah, I know it's not my business, but I want to bring up that this bothers me, that she's got this family that she loves spending time with.
I don't think it should bother you. You can bring it up, but be more curious about it or try to get more insight on it. I just don't think you have the full context of what's happening because you're not there at work with them.
Yeah.
You're not there hanging out with the family.
I think just like I dislike his comments about saying you don't know them, which is what Nina Nielsen brings up. And they're strangers, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
They're just coworkers. Clearly that's no longer the case. So I don't know why you think that's relevant anymore.
Yeah, what do you think, Keon?
I mean, there's, again, from what we've talked about and what we've gotten from OP, nothing seems out of line.
Yeah.
Like, there was like, she's not flirting with Joe. It just seems like, at least from what we're getting. Again, is she? We don't know.
Yeah.
But she's been also dating you the same time. It's
true. It's true. I feel like the girlfriend's going to break up with him and he's going to be having a pout party.
And guess what? He's going to be like, it's the family.
Yeah, and it's like, no, it's you. Update. I figured out what was going on and I feel like a huge idiot.
Oh, wow.
All
Ha
right.
ha, you should.
What was
You
it?
should feel like a huge idiot.
Maggie was an orphan.
I went to see Maggie to ask for an explanation and figured if I didn't like what I heard, I'd break up with her because either she was cheating or had an emotional issue I couldn't handle. Or she just liked this family.
I mean, fair. If you didn't like what you heard, you could break up with her.
I had the opportunity when I saw the gifts Maggie had gotten for Joe and Kate's kids. It seemed so strange for someone who doesn't really like kids that much to go so overboard for kids she just met.
Again, you haven't met this family.
What are you talking about?
If you actually, this is my thing with OP, if you actually try to meet the family, engage with them and be like, oh, why are you so into this like family? And you're like, oh my God, they're so sweet. They're so nice.
Like, I remember Sam and I made these friends like months ago. And literally we're like, these people are so cool. They're like, I want to hang out with them all the time. No one you know.
I will say, I would love some grandparents here in LA. If you know anyone in the LA area that needs odd jobs done on Saturday mornings and would feed me something, oh my gosh.
It's called Craigslist, my guy.
Every week.
My grandparents can't do that. They're too old. My grandma has dementia.
Do they need odd jobs done? They pay cash? That's what I'm looking for.
I asked Maggie why she gave the kids such special treatment, even though she doesn't really like kids that much. Maggie explained that she felt differently about these kids because she had been around to watch them grow and was close to Joe and Kate, so the kids are more like family to her. Been around to watch them grow sounds like she's been around them for a while.
Okay, so
did he just get the time wrong?
Have they known each other for 2 years?
I feel like he's got the time wrong.
Yeah, he probably got the time wrong because I thought you guys were dating for 2 years and she's only known them for 3 months or something. But what if it was a flip? She's known them for 2 years and he's only been around for 3 months.
Which means she treats them differently than other kids and they're the exception to the rule. Maggie said she'd probably tone it down eventually, but since they were so young, she wanted them to get something nice for Christmas. I wasn't really sure what to say next because it seems so irrational. But then Maggie said that she used to exchange Christmas gifts with Joe and Kate too, but they had all decided it was too much trouble and unnecessary. So it definitely is more than 2 months because she's talking about multiple Christmas gifts. You stupid dude. You got the time wrong, man.
So you got some facts wrong.
You got the facts wrong. Even if you had the facts right, you still would be wrong, but you're absolutely wrong right now.
What if this whole time your girlfriend has been hanging out with these people and has been doing it for years, but you now have been catching up and he's like, oh man, this is so weird. She keeps doing this thing. It's so new. No, it's been here forever. And you
like
just
you didn't ask
haven't
any
realized.
questions? So these days she usually bakes them something or gets them a nice bottle of wine. I realized I was missing something important. If Maggie had other Christmases with Joe's family, she couldn't have just met them like I thought. I had thought that Maggie might have emotional issues that made her attach herself to people she barely knew, but I didn't think Maggie was actually crazy enough to imagine that she knew them before. I didn't want to ask, so I acted normally until I left. You literally could just be like, how long have you known them?
Dude, he didn't want to be proving himself wrong.
Yeah, you
Pride.
so silly.
You were too prideful.
When I got home, I went through Maggie's Facebook. She wasn't lying, and she's not crazy. This is so frustrating. He literally thought his girlfriend was lying and crazy. And instead of like having any proof of that,
he did a Reddit post.
He did a Reddit post.
He doubled down.
He literally put it on the Reddit post like, oh,
Instead of
wait, I
being like-
figured it out.
yeah, instead of being like, maybe I should ask her how long she's known them because she seems so close to
And
them.
all he had to do was prove himself wrong was to go to her Facebook. That's
Crazy.
all you had to do.
All you had to do was
Crazy,
ask
dude.
a simple question, and then you're like,
One
no, I
question.
gotta get to the bottom of this. Let me go to the
Guy's
internet.
an idiot.
He's
Oh
so
my
stupid.
gosh.
I found a ton of photos with Joe and Kate going back a decade.
You moron.
You're so stupid.
What the heck?
I'm so glad that I was right about this. From what I can figure out, they all went to college together. You're so stupid.
moron.
How did you not know that her closest family and friends, you know, this family that she's so close to, that even you realized she was close to, she's known them from college. Did you never ask that question?
You thought she knew him for 2 months?
You never asked that question, you dummy?
This guy knows he's dumb. He knows he's stupid.
You better.
He's like, oh man.
Oops, sorry guys.
I'm so stupid.
Joe and Maggie were big brother and little sister in a co-ed frat and sorority, and Maggie and Kate were roommates. I also found pictures of Maggie as a bridesmaid in Joe and Kate's wedding.
You're a dumbass, dude. I'm sorry.
So stupid.
You didn't
You're
like.
dumb.
Guys,
Oh my gosh.
He almost broke up with his girlfriend for something that he could have Googled.
Dude, oh yeah, didn't you like go through your girl's Instagram before you guys
Didn't you
dated?
stalk her on Instagram and Facebook, you dummy?
See all of her friends and everything?
I hate this man.
What is happening?
And pictures of Maggie holding their newborn children, so they're obviously close friends who have known each other for a long time. All of Maggie's behavior makes perfect sense now that I know all this. By the way, you should know that you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime.
I can't give this to OP.
I
No.
don't like him. You're stupid.
Hope,
She should break up with you for being stupid.
I hope she reads this. And like, I would break up with OP.
I would break if I read that my boyfriend was thinking about breaking up with me because he felt weird about me having a relationship with this family. And then I was like, that's so weird. Why would he say that? And then I find out that he just didn't listen to me.
Dude.
And didn't think to ask me any questions and was just gonna break up with me. I'd be like, you know what? You're dumb. Bye.
This is wild.
I
You're
don't think
dumb
you-
and
yeah.
insecure.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dumb, insecure. Wow.
Ugh.
Wow.
Is that it?
No, there's more. I think this whole thing is my fault.
Oh, you're
know.
dumb.
He won't even admit it.
You won't even admit it. You're wrong. The entire.
I have ADHD and I don't handle it well.
Don't use that.
Don't-
Now you're using it as an
no.
excuse.
No. You just didn't ask your girlfriend enough questions. And even if you had ADHD, you knew
You
you
could
were
ask
almost wrong and you should have just
again.
asked her a question rather than not saying anything.
Dude, I have had many times where people have told me things and I immediately forget. And I just ask them. I just ask them again. Dummy.
Oh my gosh.
I've had issues when people are talking to me for a while where I start zoning them out. I've been called out for this before. Dude, I get it. It happens. This happens to me. I ask questions. If I didn't hear the answer, I ask questions. If I'm confused by something, I ask questions.
If someone had ADHD, they'd be a little bit more like what do you call it? Like not perspective or like what's the word?
Curious? I don't know.
Like they see things. Observant. They'd be more observant. Ugh.
I think it's pretty likely that Maggie did tell me about Joe and Kate and I just wasn't listening.
The more and more you write this, OP, the more and more I hate you.
You're the a-hole now.
Yeah, Reese's
the
My
a-hole.
Pieces says I have ADHD and it makes me a good investigator. If there are things that I don't know, I will try and find the answer to them. And then if I can't find it, I will ask them again and say, hey, I know you probably told me this, but what was that answer?
Yeah.
So easy.
This is just someone going through their mind, finally picking up on something, getting it all in their head in this big story, and then finding the truth.
Yeah, it's just like so not an excuse because, again, this happens to me all the time. Sam calls me out on this because I zone out a lot.
I feel like you
Don't
zone out whenever
breathe.
Sam talks to you.
Sometimes.
You zone out whenever I talk to you.
Sometimes.
I sound out whenever you talk
But
to me,
whenever-
Riley.
Really?
Sometimes.
But you notice when I zone out.
Yeah.
But I feel like you zone
But
out when I
that's
talk
not-
to you
but that's
too.
when everyone.
I feel like everyone just
That's not
zones
like
out.
a you thing.
Yeah, I guess I zone out too.
Aw.
Sometimes the days are long. It's okay.
It's not you.
When it's important, Riley, I listen to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Riley, it's an
do
everyone thing.
Reiterate things.
You just have to wave keys in front of me.
Yeah, you have to say something really outlandish.
Yeah,
and
that
I
is
go, okay,
true.
Riley, you have my
Entertaining,
full attention,
That's
which is
true.
literally
Subway Surfer.
90%
I'm
of the
just
time.
thinking about all the things that I've said. I try not to use a lot of words. Maybe I'm just using too many words.
Riley, you would have known if I zoned out. If you can't think of
Do you
times I've
just
zoned
need
out.
time to zone out?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Sometimes I
that makes
just
a
need
lot
zone
more
out time.
sense.
Riley, we all
Like
have
sometimes
ADHD.
I'll be we all
With
sometimes
All
I'll
of
be like
us?
sitting
we all
at,
have
like,
ADHD.
Me
a
too.
big table.
Yes.
No, I don't.
Yes.
I just vibe. Whatever the vibe is, I'll vibe to that.
Riley, we all have ADHD because we grew up in that generation of like, here's a screen.
Nope.
Well, I had
I'm not
ADHD.
falling into
I
that.
definitely
Well,
had ADHD.
you
If
had
I have it,
ADHD
I
have
didn't
it.
when
have
you
a
came
screen
out.
till I was 18.
Yeah, I didn't have until 5th grade, and I definitely had problems before that.
Riley, you have ADHD.
Anyway, Maggie hasn't actually done anything wrong or creepy, so I think it's more likely that I wasn't listening when Maggie explained instead of this being a trick. I think it's insane that he's saying, I think it's more like he's still doubting it. He has 10 years of proof.
I bet you this guy would rather stab himself in the leg than
Than
to
a bit.
prove that he was wrong.
Yeah, I agree. This was a pretty big wake-up call for me. I've been ignoring my problem because I didn't want to face facts that it was serious. But I know I need to do something before I make any more mistakes. I'm going to start off by looking for a therapist. Good. Because I can't believe you almost broke up with your girlfriend because you weren't listening. And you still can't admit that.
Yeah, therapists, ADHD meds. If you're really
Yeah, if you're really
like,
struggling with this and you can't listen to your girlfriend when she tells you things and then you can't even admit you're wrong.
And you blame it on the ADHD.
Yeah. Yeah. Miss Kitty Cat says, what's the scariest when you're driving and you zone out and you have no idea how you got to your destination without dying?
I
You go
hate
on
that.
autopilot?
Yeah. Have you guys done that?
Yeah.
Like a long drive?
Mhm.
You've never done that?
I did it once when I was very sleep deprived, but I was also
It's
constantly fighting for my life.
It's
For
not
me,
like that.
it's not even like I'm not sleeping.
It's brain off. It's like brain
yeah,
off.
your brain turns off and then you're like, oh!
You're like, that drive was really short.
Yeah, no, I do. Yes, I know how that feels. It's like you're not sleepy at all and you're totally focused, but you're so focused that you you lose focus.
You're not hungry, you're not thirsty,
Yeah.
you're not even thinking. No thoughts. Literal zero thoughts.
Head
and you're
empty.
like, drive.
You go
You're
on
like-
autopilot.
And you like bop your
Yeah,
head a
like
little
I've
bit.
never run a red light or anything. You just go on autopilot.
No, yeah, it's crazy.
It's a weird sensation. So that's the end of that story and the end of that episode. If you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And see you tomorrow.